The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
I have a few years ago, I decided I was, as opposed to being a ridiculous character of myself and a little with a dash of Monster Zero, Michael Ravenshadow, I said I was going to be 100% honest. And when I kind of ran it by Johnny and everybody else, my kind of two rules was I wasn't going to talk about my friends, my special lady friend, or my real life job directly. But I am going to break that rule and talk about a really good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, the amazing Kim Cody. Started her first chemotherapy, which is going to be a basically, I think, 18 or 19 week endeavor. And she's home now, resting and amazing, and I'm just really fucking proud of her. It's terrifying and it's scary, and they're basically pumping something into your body that's so fucking bad for you that if it gets it on your skin, you get like a third-degree burn. So it's fucking not a good thing to do, and but she is at her home watching baseball, being tough as hell, and from everybody at Trick or Treat Radio, I just want to say that we're real proud of you, good luck, and we love you. And welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 249 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we have somber intros because of awesome people who are fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Oh, how did I do that and do the intro?
You probably put the headphones on it.
Oh, could be. It is somber in a way, but I mean, I don't know, like.
Well, I'm not saying it's
yeah.
that as a bad thing.
No, but she's doing fucking great. You never know how you're going to be.
It's no masturbatory bliss or anything.
No, not at all. But
Dynamo will have that right as soon as the show ends.
I think we all will.
if we podcast somewhere else, I'd be doing it in the break.
There's a shower down there.
Well, doing this stuff. I feel like doing this stuff around there is fast forward to a list.
You think that shower downstairs has been masturbated in?
I don't know, man.
No.
Why don't you go inspect it?
Which is
Get
scary,
a,
yeah.
I will go inspect it.
get a
Hold on.
black light.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If
Look
I
like
don't
a
see anything,
Jackson
I'll be
Pollock
fine.
painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it glows like a goddamn bug lamp, then
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
Unfortunately, you go downstairs with the black light, and it would look like you've been vacationing at Chernobyl.
Right?
At Chernobyl.
With those I was reading about those fucking giant Chernobyl wolves today. That's not good at all.
Oh my lord.
I don't like that one bit.
So it is episode 249. This is the one between what? Something big's coming up.
It's the penultimate.
No, it's not.
Why is it not the penultimate? It's the penultimate episode before the 250.
Yeah, but it's the one before the last. This isn't 250 is not the last one.
Well, we don't know.
Unless you,
We don't know what's gonna
it could be
It always could be.
explosive. Yeah.
It should have ended a
You know how
long time
we
ago.
say every show could be someone's first. Every show could be our last.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
Just Monster Zero's inquiry about the shower could get us thrown out of the studio. So that would certainly put a damper on things.
I don't know about that.
That it would put a damper on things?
No, I don't think it'll get us kicked
Yeah,
out.
who knows? I don't know. Doesn't bother me. I'm going
It's
to
a
be
men's room.
attached to
Yeah.
fucking what? I'm going to look like Weapon X after the 30. That's when we podcast. So
That'd be awesome.
no, it won't be awesome. I have this fear that my mic is going to move and I won't be able to follow it.
The real one or the fake one?
Either one. The real one should come over and hold my mic for me.
So on tonight's show, I guess we'll get to this quick. We are going to review an indie found footage flick called The Dark Tapes. Just hit VOD on April 18th, so it's been out there for a little bit, and we'll be discussing that tonight. Also, Dynamo and Raven Shadow are going to run down their Justice League International Dream Cast.
It was a fun couple of days.
Was that pregnant pause because
No,
it
I
wasn't fun?
I had a pineapple stuck in my
Oh,
throat.
okay.
No, it was fun.
Yeah, we had some correspondence.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it.
It's true.
So that should be
You were
be fun.
thinking?
I was thinking about that. Yep.
What the hell did you use?
Doesn't matter what I used. You'll see the list.
He uses liver. He thinks with his liver.
Yeah. It's one tough son of a bitch.
It's lived this long. It might be the last part of your body to die out.
I think Montezero's house is the portal to Narnia.
What?
Because it's obviously empty of clothes because he wears his fucking pajamas everywhere. So the lion, the witch, and everybody can just bust on through without any.
Well, speaking of that, I went to go drop. I went to go drop
if
something
you
off
saw
for
him
him
naked, that would
this
be amazing.
this weekend. No. And he had a fucking party going on at his house.
Oh, I guess the invitation
Yeah,
got lost in the
got
mail.
lost in the mail.
That's
No,
weird.
that's-
A fucking housewarming party, you
Yeah.
asshole?
No. My friend, my oldest friend, Michelle, she's getting married in October, and as a wedding gift, we threw a big wedding shower party for her.
Oh, yeah, big shower?
Yeah, shower. And so she invited all of her friends, and
To your house.
yeah, because we were throwing the party. You know,
Oh,
it was our gift to her. So that's what that was.
All right.
Isn't this the second time he had something that we weren't invited
Yeah,
to?
exactly.
Well, what was the first thing?
And last time he had his friend Lainey over, and she likes me way more than them. So that was an intentional not invite there. That wasn't an oversight. That was like, nope.
Yep. Don't want these fucks there.
I don't want you telling her anything about me that
there
she
is-
might not already know.
There is instant message.
I'm sure she knows everything.
Yeah.
So, and then we have a few voicemails. If we don't have a ton tonight, so maybe everyone's saving them for next week. But if you guys are listening live and you want to get something in, you have some time still. So feel free to do that. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. You can go ahead and send one of those voice memos. You can send an email, or you can go to trickortreatradio.com, click on contact, and go ahead and use the leave us a voicemail button right from there. And we got a few people hanging out in the chat room. Let's see. Someone named Bosch. What's up, Bosch?
Oh, shit.
Is it the Mighty Boosh?
Well, it says Bosch, so I probably know.
Bosh.
The mighty, mighty Bosch stones.
I'm broke. I'm broke. Son is hanging out.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we know who that guy is.
Cecil Hands, what's up, Cecil?
What's going on, Cecil?
And Creepy Girl is hanging out. And
Oh.
she
Hey,
says,
creepy.
She says, Cancer Warrior.
Thank you.
Is that a new horror movie? Oh,
It's a new wrestling gimmick.
yeah. And when he does this, his wig falls off.
I was just gonna fucking say something. And I can't remember what it was for real.
What the hell are you laughing
Leave it
at?
to you to not get the hint that no one thinks it's funny but you. But keep it going.
Fuck you, man. Raven Shadow and I are laughing about it.
He's actually disgusted by it.
I'm trying to be nice.
I know because of Instant Messenger.
So, see?
Oh yeah, it's Kevin Hornsborough's birthday today.
Oh, Kevin Hornsby.
Oh,
In the range.
What's up, baby?
happy Bay Day.
I think he's considerably younger than me and even
Well,
younger than you guys.
Most people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bosch says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Bosch?"
Anybody who's not younger than us is usually collecting their AARP cards by now.
Fair.
Are you?
Fuck no.
I know how old I am.
I
You can't
am
be that
a-
far.
I am a young 45, turning 46 next month.
I got bad news for you. Like, 45 is just old. Like, there's no dial.
Well, that's true, but I believe in being as old as you feel, and I do not feel 45,
Dynamo,
46.
feel him. How old does he feel?
Feel that.
Lumpy.
Lumpy, 40
But-
lumps.
but I don't look it. I sure as hell don't act it.
Fair.
You know,
No, you definitely don't act.
I definitely don't act like I'm 45, 46.
No.
Oh, but
You act like you're 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still shit my pants, and
Good club to be
I
in.
want to. Yeah. Well, I'm there with you, man.
Right.
And cookies, and eating cookies, and
It's not a young or an old person thing.
Bosch says 38 over here. Don't feel my age either.
Yeah.
There you go.
I definitely don't. I mean, I'm not quite as old as MZ. I'm up there, but I don't feel my.
Just say how old you are.
I'm 40.
There you go.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, Tiny's on a Disney cruise right now, so I bet you that he's wishing that he was any age.
His kids are at home though. He's there by himself.
He's doing the lambada with Daisy Duck.
Yeah.
And Goofy. Doing the limbo with Goofy and fucking Petunia Pig.
Oh, that's a different thing. Well, I don't know. Actually, Disney owns everything.
Yeah.
Why do you have to bring everything down? Like, we had a real good thing going, nobody's getting anything inserted with it. Didn't want it. Now I have the hiccups.
So
So-
excuse me while I insult you, but I'm going to be hiccuping in the middle of it all.
I didn't insult you. That was no
What
insult.
is this? What the hell is
It was an
this?
inquiry.
Big difference.
Cheat it.
So next week is episode 250. The
Why?
big 250. Speaking of old,
Jeez.
the show's getting old. And next week we have some cool stuff planned. We're gonna tease you a little bit. You have to wait a little bit further into the show, and we'll tell you all about it. But we do have a guest in studio. We have some guests joining us via Skype, and we are going to be reviewing a probably ridiculous movie. So it should be a fun time. And if you guys are listening right now, I know I mentioned this last week. If you're listening to the podcast, you don't check out the live show, you never have, or you've done it infrequently, I think 250 is going to be a big one. So we want you to try to make plans to tune in to the live show. If you can't do it on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can always watch the live feed after the fact. But if you are available, you should make plans because it's going to be a good one. So Broke Son says, my PC is fucked up because I can't watch and comment on here. I'm commenting on YouTube. Definitely feeling my age because I can't figure this out.
It's hard.
Raven Shadow, give him a hand.
I
Raven
deferred-
Chow, you did okay this week.
I did good, right?
You did okay. Not
Yeah.
good.
Well, I think that
Some of the questions you asked were a little,
I could see you shaking your head.
yes. And I literally typed something and then erased it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to make fun of him.
What happened?
Listen,
We got a screener link for the film this week,
Oh.
and he, it was different from the normal screener link, so he had some issues,
Well, of course.
slight issues.
yeah.
Even though I explained to him how to do it, he still asked me in text.
Well, because you set the stage of certain things, but there were other options that asked me more questions that it didn't have the answers to, and there were some things I wasn't sure about, and like you did very good, but there were still some other parts that you could have said, okay, well then there's this part.
To be honest,
Thank you.
Yeah.
in full disclosure,
Yes.
I had a bit of a bumpy road with this particular.
Thank you, Dynamo.
And he actually asked the same question.
See?
And I said, and I called him Raven Shadow. I felt bad afterwards, Mars. After I
delete
said that,
his
I felt
text.
bad.
Well, it told me it wouldn't play, and then it just started. It told me I had to do something to play,
Right.
and then so I started to play it the way they told me to, and I paused it, and I could still hear fucking people talking, so I went back and it was playing that other way too.
Yeah.
So that is what's up for tonight. I guess I'll go ahead and introduce everyone on the show. Do that early this time. I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio, the Deadites, and the Grand Guignol Network. We also have the immortal gunslinger, the singer and lyricist for the Deadites, Dynamo Mars.
Hi, y'all. And I'm going to steal a tiny bit of thunder from Michael Ravenshadow and announce that dropping Monday, recording shortly, I will be on the incredible Cult of Muscle podcast.
Nice.
And for the first time ever, I got to pick the movies. I don't know if they even realized that they made that terrible mistake. That they've kept that genie in a bottle.
Can you announce which ones you picked?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I picked the Shaw Brothers. One of the supposedly one of the lesser Venom films, but spoiler alert, I dug it a lot, called House of Traps.
Oh yeah, hasn't Tiny talked about that one?
El Goro has been pimping it to me for quite a while.
Okay.
It's actually it's 2 podcast other recommendations that I took to there. I don't know if that's illegal, but I did House of Traps, and then for my birthday, Bill by Force got me the John Ford, John Wayne classic, The Searchers, and CDR was actually talking about a documentary that I'm in the middle of about. I'm in the middle of letting it play while I sleep. About 5 directors, I believe, that went to World War II and what their input was before and after they came back, and Ford was one of them. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. I think that The Searchers was maybe a little more highfalutin than I normally would pick, considering that it usually just degrades to me and CDI talk about penises and stuff. But maybe John Wayne has a good cock. Who knows? But I am super excited to be on to be on that.
Why do
show.
you think he walked the way he did?
Yeah, that's why they call him the Duke.
Yep.
The Duke of what?
Dork.
The Duke of Dick.
The Duke of Dorkchester. So yeah, I'm very excited. I love hanging out with those guys. I have figured out now, like I've got it to an art form, the amount of times I can publicly complain about them not having me on before they actually ask me on. So I know I that's like a superpower I have now. So it should be good. I'm excited. I got mozzarella stick all over me.
What's the way to do it?
That's fun.
Well, Pilgrim, I'm gonna whip out my dick now.
It's a
My
very
ding-dong.
bad John Wayne.
Yeah,
Like
isn't
the
it
worst
dope?
one ever heard. Jesus.
It's like Skip 13's Hulk Hogan.
I'm Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
You won't do Larry Fine, but you'll do that.
You're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
down.
That was my first time doing it, man. Give me a break.
Practice makes
Word
perfect.
Pilgrim.
Yes, I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
Partner.
Pilgrim, partner.
Just walk into your bedroom
Engine.
tonight and say that word. Say that sentence.
Make sure you wake her up too.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, she'll be thrilled.
So we also have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs and Fetus, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
Hey, yeah. You know, I got a doctor's appointment on Monday, but I
Oh.
don't know what it's for.
What?
Yeah,
Is it like
The
is it
hospital
something
reminded-
you're worried about?
What are you, my father?
I don't remember. No,
Oh,
I don't remember. I don't know what it's for. They called to
how
remind
do
me
you
that I
know
got
you're
a,
not my
that,
father?
that I got an appointment on the 8th,
My father.
and
Your real father?
I thought you were an orphan.
I am.
Like,
And for some reason, I got an appointment. And I don't know what it's for, so I got to find
Probably a
out.
checkup.
yeah, it's probably because
Jesus.
you're fucking passed out at your own joke.
You
No,
normally
I should be locked up for
Your
that shit.
fucking bad joke. You should go to the emergency room and the improv and get all that stuff corrected. My fucking father calls the other day. Pardon the fucking dad, if you are listening.
Whoa, fucking dad.
I don't know. But a lot of ladies after my party told me they thought my dad was still handsome, though. So, you know. And he calls and goes, Parks and Recreations. And I go, yeah. And he goes, I'm missing season 4 and 6. And I go, yeah. He goes, can you get it for me? You know, all right. Have you ever seen it? I'm like, no. I'm like, I know there is a Parks and Recreations. He goes, that's funny. The nurse in the emergency room said the same thing the other day. And I was like, Dad, phone call lesson. Lead with emergency room, and then work your way back to Parks and Recreations and funny nurse anecdotes.
I'm pretty sure a lot of it's on Netflix.
I don't know what he does.
All right. Well,
He's really completely out of his mind now, more than ever. Yeah, that's what the nurse said. I'm like, why did you go to the nurse? He goes, my blood sugar was very high, so they sent an ambulance for me. I'm like, where'd you find out your blood sugar was high? At the doctor. I'm like, where did they send an ambulance for you? At home. How did you get home? I apparently drove.
apparently.
Wow.
I was like, perfect. So,
All right.
not good. No, driving around with people isn't good. The kid that drives me today, I get into the car. I got a fucking infection. It hurts. I'm sad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on. Let me
Well,
introduce this Jumo
Yeah,
first.
well, yeah, I get cancer, and all of a sudden I hear, I go, oh my God, what happened? He's like, I bit my tongue.
What the fuck?
I was like, my goodness.
We also have the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, and the official smoke machine for Castle Wolfenstein, and the Prince of Promotions, Michael Raven Shadow.
Oh, that's right, Johnny. And I don't want to take away from Dynamo's statement about earlier, but I've been in honor of our Justice League International talk and the moving forward of the world's dopest tag team. That's right, the most dope international tag team. I've been doing a little book report.
A book report.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed.
You know on what?
Nope.
Yeah,
Ramona Bigsby.
Yeah, the world. No, chapter 1 is Finland.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some flashbacks
How to eat
about
fried
Finland.
worms.
Yeah, you don't even know about Finland.
Who sent you these notes?
I don't. Doesn't matter. I have. It's on my phone. You don't know that.
It's just on your phone.
It's on my phone. Devil horns, caffeine junkies, freaky sports, and even stranger weather conditions. There's a lot more about Finland than you think.
Is that from the Finland tourist site?
Oh, you don't even know.
What the fuck?
Did you get this from Wikipedia, Kevin Kelly?
No, I was doing some Finland flashbacks.
Finland flash facts.
I got 14 of them. I'll
If
do
no-
one.
If nothing else, I appreciate the alliteration.
See? I think even Vesta doesn't even know about these.
You may be right.
Does he know that feel like a failure? You're a winner in Finland. Further cementing the nation's wonderfully offbeat sense of humor, Finland has an annual Day for Failure every October 13th. Started in 2010, the ceremony celebrates bad news and ill fortune as a way of learning for the future. Better luck next time, losers. That's a fucking thing.
Yeah.
What
What
is
the
even
hell
fucking
are you
going on
talking
here?
about?
That's fucking right.
What the fuck?
You know what?
What is
They
he talking about?
they invented the first internet browser for users.
For you.
That's what it says.
Internet browser for users.
Man.
What were they? Who had them before the users?
That's the thing.
Like, did they plug directly into their track lines?
No,
What kind
it's
of users?
crazy. There's a lot of commotion. The many nations try to claim ownership of creating the internet, but the Finns were the first nation who had the idea to bring it to the general public.
You talking about the Miami Dolphins, the Finns?
All them, yeah. They fucking Finland won a World Series. You know what? I'm a
Raven Shadow. Don't go on the
Finland
internet
won a
anymore.
World Series?
I meant Super Bowl. United
What
States
the
of Finland.
fuck?
Is there anything in there on Ludwig Borga?
He's there. Let's find this.
Vesa, we're sorry.
You know, fucking. Oh, it's the fucking undisputed home of heavy metal. That's right. Icy and industrial. Perhaps it's no wonder that Finland has the most heavy metal bands per capita. World famous acts like Children of Bodom, Nightwish, and,
Bottom.
and Eurovision.
Bend over and show me your bottom.
That's a rough show. Don't go in the pit.
Fat bottom children makes my rockin' Finland go round.
Ah, it's fucking the channel the nation's dark and wild nature with their music. That's only some of the. That's only,
Jesus Christ. Is this really happening?
yeah. That's just chapter 1.
What the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? Who are you?
I'm trying it because we have international listeners. I want to teach the world. They touch us, and I want to touch them in a way that we're learning about their land. And in
Their
fact,
land.
Yeah.
Like they're goddamn Indians, for Christ's sake. Their
I'm gonna
land.
do all the countries. Do Russia? Gonna do Canada, Ohio,
Kanda?
Canada.
You gonna do a Kandarian incantation?
Yeah.
Can you picture that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking, you know what? You know
Kandarian
what?
dagger.
I
You know
wanna
what?
get that last thing he said there as my ringtone. Just listen to it all the time.
It turns out they have the world's best pizza. That's fucked up.
Says who?
Finland.
Finland's hearty cuisine has its fans and foes. Former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi ruffled a few feathers in 2005 when he remarked that the Parma ham was completely superior to the Finns' smoked reindeer. And that his whole culinary experience while visiting was an Eurodance. What's that word?
Oh, it's Oracle's band.
Them metal.
This sounds like
No, they're not.
this sounds like a
No.
Monty Python skit, for Christ's sake.
These are the 14 Finnish flashbacks.
Stop.
All right. Well, next week's Russia.
Great. Well, that's a tenuous relationship. That
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and I'm
trying-
sure you're gonna make things so much easier for everybody.
I'm gonna figure it out.
That's it? That's all the
I
flashbacks?
feel like Michael Raven Shadow is Trump's trump card.
You know what? They also love milk more than you. Unsurprisingly, Finian has the world's highest annual consumption.
Finian? Are they fucking Funyuns?
Funyuns. Finians love Funyuns and milk consumption. It's around 1 liter per person every day, making the Finns chop his coffee stained. What? Making the Finns chop his coffee stained, but mighty strong. Weird, considering that 70% of films are lactose intolerant.
Raven Shadow, I want you to talk more about Finland. I also want you to talk about Russia, because I ain't talking about Russia. So I want you to talk about Russia. There's some very bad things going on in Russia. I want you, Raven Shadow, to make them very good things.
I'm gonna.
What the fuck?
The national speeding fines will make you wince. Are you fast and furious and mega rich? And you better not get caught zooming through Finland. The cost of traffic and speeding violations calculated by the offending driver's annual income. One unfortunate mega rich speed demon was once fined 200,000 euros for a single speeding offense.
200,000!
You can't even say 200,000. You don't even know what the number 200,000 looks like.
It's
200, 000.
It's euros.
That doesn't matter.
200, 000.
Oh my God. How do you function on a daily basis?
I got
How does it happen? 200, 000. How
I'll
do
tell
you
you this.
function?
A New Hope, she's a saint.
Yeah. What do you have on her?
She's going to heaven.
Oh my God.
You got some kind of blackmail.
I just
I
want
don't even feel bad about my special lady friend probably trying to steal her at some point. in her life.
200, 000. I'll never get that out of my head for as long as I live.
Even I know.
200, 000.
Have some moldy cake.
And because it's euros, he thinks the number is completely different.
They got a whole different
I
thing
can't
over
believe
there.
there's a moldy. There's mozzarella sticks.
You got
and
a
moldy
completely
cake
different
in front
thing
of me.
going on there.
Moldy?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
fucking joint is starting to be like Woodland Street with microphones.
Good. We could cure some diseases with it later.
Maybe it'll cure Raven Shadow's fucking brain.
Yeah.
Pass the penicillin, please.
Jesus Christ. 200, 000. Why? Why?
Let me. You have more flashbacks? Hold on if you do.
All
If you do.
right.
Let me go real quick to the chat room here, okay? Creepy Girl says, I'm looking at Mars' sweater and the song from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood keeps playing in my head. Won't you be my neighbor?
Hello, you.
Oh, the ledge is hanging out.
Shit, bad timing, Ledge.
The ledge says Mars is looking more and more like an elderly Fidel Castro. Like a dead Fidel Castro now, right?
Like a full of life.
Oh, he says, or maybe Lenin.
Well, if it means anything to you, Dynamo, you look better than Castro right now.
That's true. Raven J is hanging out, and he says, Kanda. Kanda. And then he did a clap. He did clap, 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 clap.
The Candyman.
Thank you, Raven.
And then Bosch says 200, 000.
Euros.
The best part is that we would have got some assemblance of that if it was 2,000, right? Because 200 is where he's not sure anymore. So even 2,000 would have
Oh, god damn.
it just would have been 2,000 0 0.
Give us another flashback.
I'm glad you asked, Johnny. Because you know what? The Finns are fucking tango crazy. You don't need to
Tango
go.
Cash?
Oh yeah, you don't need to go all the way to Montevideo or Buenos Aires to get your freak on.
Montevideo. Is that a video store?
Yeah, they put out the Arrow release. Montevideo did
Video.
they put out Stranglemania. And they're doing a Void release. It's outstanding.
What the fuck?
What Montevideo? I lost it. Buenos Aires.
Yeah, that was close. That's about as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, Buenos Aires. Thank you, Aries. to get your freak on.
Buenos
Tango
Aires, chamois.
It's 13,000 km away from sunny South America.
KM.
What?
All right. Do you know what KM stands for?
Yeah, the hot dogs you like so much. They're the skinless ones. I think kilometers, but I wasn't sure. I balked.
I boxed.
All right.
You won't win the Super
Is
Bowl doing that.
Is there any of that leftover booze from what last time Jarrett was here? I think we're going to need it.
And yet the Nordic nation has been kept in a tango fever ever since it arrived on the icy shores in 1913. The golden years for Finnish tango hit the mid-'60s when the local produced tango tunes were knocking the Beatles singles off the top of the charts. Today, tangophiles travel from all the world to dance cheek to cheek at the legendary Tango Makanat.
Right.
Vesa, call in. Festival in July, and visit the local museum dedicated to the old ballroom spectacle. The ballroom spectacle.
Yeah.
The ballroom spectacle.
You shall not pass.
Yeah.
So keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Keep tangoing. Yeah, you didn't fucking know any of that. I just told you a lot of things.
I don't know it now.
I just told you a lot of things. A lot of good things about Finland.
It's nice. You know what the fucking lakes? They got some fucking.
You know what that whole last segment guarantees? You could get elected president.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, you're smarter than the president.
That's true.
That's not such a high bar to clear, you know.
It's the thing.
well, if he's smarter than the president, absolutely not. Yeah.
No, it's fucking. Oh, you don't even know they have some fucking the world's strangest sports. Last one.
Who the fuck cares?
When it comes to eccentric pastimes, Finland.
Wait, what? Pat times?
When it comes to eccentric past, it's a very small text, John. I got bad eyes. I got medical problems.
Eccentrically.
Here, let's have some cake then.
All right, yeah. Finland is a gold trophy winner in eccentric pad times. I can't say those words.
Eccentric Pat times. Pad Thai?
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
a good one.
Apartheid.
Strangest of all is the wife carrying world championship, taking place in Songkhla every July. The extreme.
Vesa is shaking his head right now.
I'm
He's
sorry,
saying none
Vesa.
of this is true.
No, is he there? This is
No, he
real.
has to get a new iPod because he threw it against the wall way back there.
Yeah. This extreme obstacle
At the
course
milk pot.
event has carried over to an international phenomenon, with couples from Denmark, Hong Kong to Australia and beyond traveling to the country to take part. It's an odd way to spend a honeymoon, but we're not ones to judge. Other esoteric sports that host the annual World Championships in Finland include mosquito hunting, mobile phone throwing, swamp football,
Vesa is now good at that.
rubber boot throwing, and air guitar World Championship. We're fucking going.
Actually, you
There's
know,
no
I have
leprechauns there, I bet, because those fucking boot throwing.
That's right.
actually I have heard of the wife carrying. race.
I've heard of the
I have
air
heard of
guitar.
See, who's the goose now?
It's good for the goose. It's good for the fucking dipshit.
I'm having flashbacks because all saying wants to fucking talk about right now is the hot dog eating championship.
Cecil says, "Oh, Montevideo rules."
You know what, Raven Shadow? I think you've burned up the last of your 500,000 active brain cells.
It's true.
Bosch says, "KM. I walked 2 kms to the store."
Speaking of, I meant to tell you guys last week. Sane comes in the office with his iPod, right, and goes, "Mike, or what?" He goes, "You ever hear?"
Why does he call you that?
I don't know. I don't know. He goes, "You ever hear the band Breaking Bajing?" And I'm like, "That sounds fucking awesome, actually, right? Will you play it?" He puts on his fucking Breaking Benjamin. I was so fucking pissed off.
Oh man, Ledgers says I could be at Disney getting drunk with my wife, but instead, KM hot dogs.
What's up, Ledge? Welcome back.
And Bosch says Ravens are pretty smart.
Welcome back. I'm surprised he hasn't left yet.
Thank you, Bosch.
Raven J says 4 of my favorite bands are from Finland: Him, Negative, and To Die For. I meant 3.
See?
I like 2 of those bands. I haven't
Yeah.
heard of Negative.
I love him.
Ooh, who is he, Mars?
Didn't him break up?
No.
a little while ago?
Oh, they're doing their last tour, I think. Right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bosch says Northern Europe has cool bands for sure.
I like Nightwish too. You mentioned Nightwish in there.
Yeah, see?
Though I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I should keep my mouth shut before I sound like you.
Creepy Girl says Dude Sons are from Finland.
Who?
The Dude Sons? It was a TV show, right? The Dude
Who the
Sons?
hell are they?
Oh, yeah, I heard of them.
No, you haven't.
You know where they're from? Finland.
I'll check out the Dude Sons. I think they're used to be a show. Yeah, the Dude Sons.
I don't want to watch that.
No, you want to see a movie from Finland? Check out The Johnsons. That's a good flick.
And by the way, Creepy Girl, it's fucking not. You know, I don't live in alligator-infested Florida. It's not. It's a little chilly here. I need my cardigan.
Yeah.
In Northeast, ladies dig the cardigan.
Is that true?
Yeah.
All Northeast ladies?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way up and across the
I don't
border.
think
That's
that's
why.
true.
Oh, I do
That's why the
so
big-
like your cardigan.
Hey, listen. I could take this cardigan
I
off my
remember
shirt
when-
off and still have more clothes on than you have.
I
on right
remember
now.
when my husband Elmer used to have a
Yeah,
cardigan.
it's
just
not
like
fucking
that.
nice like fucking Walmart red pullover sweatshirt and fucking sweatpants, but it's
Yeah.
nice.
Damn, you guessed the store and everything.
Well, how come not?
I know.
Fucking took a selfie buying it.
Yeah, well, you know,
Because the light's good.
there and the tampons. I took a picture of those too. So.
My life is terrible. Irreparable.
Ledger said no. He could be saying that about a number of things tonight. Oh,
I'm gonna start taking artistic photographs of tampons.
Jesus Christ.
Why not?
I can think of
Lots of reasons.
Yeah,
Wow,
a lot of
wow.
tons.
Well, before they used, I mean.
Oh, Jesus.
Or how about in hot dogs?
Fuck off.
Where's that video? That's not.
I have it somewhere.
There's no internet embargo on that.
That is true.
He's gonna end up finding that one of these days. and
Oh,
I'm
I
never
know
gonna
where it
watch
is.
Yeah.
It's just on S Video.
Oh,
I have to get an S Video player.
Along with the Vamp Quartet.
I know exactly where it is. Cecil says, like my cardigan, New Heart and Chill. New Heart and Chill. Oh, that's fucking awesome.
I'm totally okay with that though. All of all of Newhart's female co-stars
Smoking
of those
hot.
shows were all super foxes.
New Heart and Chill.
That could be a candidate for the episode title.
Newhart and Chill is good.
Heart and Chill.
I love Newhart.
It's a good show. It had several.
Nah,
several
Newhart was awesome.
incarnations.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Bob Newhart. That guy was.
I introduced. Yeah, I got you. Never mind. You probably want to get introduced again, though, don't you?
Could you?
Yeah, but do it in Finnish this time.
Yeah.
Let me go to Google, see what I can find.
You want me to do that? I can do that.
What? Say his intro in Finnish?
Oh, I can translate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Allegedly.
I can only imagine what that's going to be.
Finish is something Monster Zero never has a problem.
Yeah. Raven Shadow, just distract folks while I
That's true. It's getting started. That's the problem.
while I try to get this ready.
See, you said you don't feel old, but that's old. That's old man problems.
Yeah.
No, that's just all my life problems.
That's awful.
All right, you guys
That's
ready?
why you don't have any hair. You don't get any fucking testosterone. That's your problem.
All right,
don't
you
get
want
a
to hear
bone
Raven
steady.
Shadow's? Want to hear Raven Shadow's intro and finish?
Sure.
Löytöretki, käsihihna, vauvanvahti, Larasipan Hotpocket, rakastava, sarjakuvahahmo ja virallinen savukamari Castle Wolfensteinille prinssikampanjoista.
I didn't even hear Michael Raven Shadow in there at all. 'Cause that's what I look forward to hearing. You know, I always look forward to the words that they say in English.
That's right, Ludwig. No. They said
The
lorazepam.
chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, Lorazepam, hot pocket, loving, comic book reading nerd and official smoke machine for Castle Wolfenstein, Prince of Promotions.
There you go.
Oh, you didn't even say Michael Raven Shadow. No wonder.
Well, he knows who that is. Johnny Wolfenstein
Yeah, I know who
knows.
it is.
Yeah, but we still have to hear it.
Oh my fuck.
No, because I want to hear the Finnish Michael Raven Shadow.
The finish. All right.
Ledge, I'll meet you in Disney.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Michael Ravenshadow.
That's sexy, dude.
Raven Shadow.
Raven Shadow.
That's my ringtone. I like that.
Jesus.
Uh,
She got Vesa to do it for her.
Cecil says it's true. Fox is all over Bob on every show. Newhart. And Bosch says Newhart was a freak. It's always the quiet ones. Holy shit! Creepy girl says, and MZ looks red delicious.
Whoa!
He is a red delicious.
Yep. I'm a
season.
big old red apple. Want to see my worm?
Christ, and then you ruin it.
I ruin it.
Ledger says, do the whole fucking show and finish. It has a better chance of holding my attention.
Right?
You do look like a fucking giant apple.
Ah, shut up.
Did you really just tell creepy girl to look at your worm?
Well, not seriously.
Just gonna friggin'
Why? Why
slide
not?
into an
I don't know.
alligator's mouth like a slip and slide.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe there's a bizarro world where somebody actually likes the way you're dressed better than me.
I can understand that.
Why?
No, I can understand your feelings about it.
Jesus.
Honestly, I can't understand.
It's a nice shirt.
Well, thank you. I mean, I got it off the rack at Walmart.
I know this shirt.
Oh, that. Oh.
Got a nice shirt underneath.
What shirt do you have on it?
Mario. Some anniversary Mario shirt that somebody sent me for something. I think maybe Loot Crate or one of those.
Oh.
That I keep fucking forgetting to cancel, and they keep sending me Loot
I
Crate.
kept sending you shit. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to go to a break in just a few moments.
Except I almost died. When are we going to talk about that? I almost died.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, so last week when I thought I had a tick,
Yeah.
I went home and that shit blew.
No, it was a spider bite.
It wasn't that either, though. It was just some weird fucking infection that got into the lymph node and blew up to be the size of a lemon when I got home.
Jesus.
So I went.
Lemon?
Yeah, it looked like
Ugh.
half a lemon had burrowed under my skin. So I didn't want to wake anybody up, so I took a cab to the emergency
What
room.
the fuck?
Jesus.
Yep,
Why don't you take a Uber?
because I didn't think of that. I don't think it's that. It wasn't that much cheaper though. I think that it's more expensive at 3 o'clock in the morning when everything went down. So
So what was the?
it was it's like some sort of it was like an abscess.
Really?
Yeah, my body is all fucking out of whack from having fights with cancer. So
Sucks.
yeah, and so I just get weird shit sometimes. But it I was until the antibiotics started to kick in yesterday. I was still convinced it was a fucking spider bite though, because I was taking these you know how you can judge it was really they look like this disinfected jug of things here. They were fucking huge. You know how you can judge an antibiotic by how hard they are to swallow.
Right.
And these things were fucking big, so I was like, oh man, this is gonna work. But it wasn't until yesterday that shit started to go away. So yeah, it was so crazy though, and the best part was this doctor.
There's a best part
Yeah.
of this.
This doctor, the doctor's looking at it with light, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, and I go, somebody who looked at it said it looked like a spider bite. And the doctor goes, is it a doctor? And I'm like, he's barely a person.
You were very adamant about that. It's definitely a spider bite,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
It's got 2 holes.
I would. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it has 2 holes because my skin had started to distend to the point that it was tearing.
Oof.
In the hospital, it had 3 holes.
Ooh.
It looked like I got fucking carved up by that Colin from Krull. When he does that fucking cool finishing move where he just lets it spin there. Oh, one more thing. Anybody ever have trouble with Amazon lately?
No.
My special lady friend got me an awesome fucking, very cult of muscly, if I do say so myself, birthday present.
Mhm.
And I opened it up, and one of the things in there was the Raid Steelbook. And it was fucking crushed to shit. So I sent it back. And then
Maybe it came straight from Jakarta.
could be something. And something I got I had to send something back in relation to the thing I bought with my gift cards there too. Oh my fucking Mortal Kombat box was cracked. I didn't want to open it even. So I had to send back 2 things in a really short amount of time.
I'm sure it's not their fault. I mean, it's in.
Well, I think it's our fucking post office's fault.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine because we
Oh,
live
no.
here. Yeah.
No, but they're bad. I mean, they call them hurlers. Not that kind of hurling.
They are, like I have 3 different ways to get in my house, and fucking UPS or FedEx, whoever it is, always puts my packages in the one we don't use. So like 3 days later, I see a fucking book on my stoop floating around. Fucking hate UPS. But Amazon did send me a new raid.
That's good.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
get it already?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
quick.
nice.
Yeah.
Get it from FedEx, man. FedEx is better.
It's not
Yeah,
fucking
but you don't
up
have
to
a
me.
choice. Yeah.
That sucks.
Do you ever order anything from Amazon?
I have not maybe 1 or 2 things, but
I think the gift cards were keeping you in sweatpants this month, so
Oh, Ledger says, Mars, you need some SoCal Sun and Disney Fun Times. Get your ass over here.
it's happening, my friend.
Bosch says, the best part of waking up, finding a spider bite. Jesus Christ.
The best part of waking up, fingers in your butt.
Raven,
Spider in your butt.
Raven J says, yes, I had trouble with Amazon.
Yeah, it fucking drives me.
Corny's hanging out. What's up, Corny?
hey, cornball.
And Ledger says, every DVD or CD I've ever ordered from Amazon has been crushed.
Fucking jerks.
Jesus.
You know what's weird? There were 2 steel books in there.
Mhm.
Because
They're not made of steel?
no. As El Goro said, why aren't they called tin
Tin
boxes?
can
Yeah.
books.
In the one like on underneath the crushed, the one on top of the crushed one was perfect, which means that shit got crushed, and they put it in the fucking box.
Right. So if because if it had been damaged in
'Cause then
transit,
the
the other one would have been
The
fucked.
Shaun of the Dead steel book, but it was a good haul. It was John Wick,
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Attack the Block,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Dead or Alive trilogy.
All right.
Yeah. You do fucking crazy shit when you look at the amount of bills that you have and you're like, I can't pay those. Fuck it. Like that's really.
Oh, I know how that
yeah,
goes.
like,
Yeah,
like
I think we
asked
all
her,
do.
I'm like, sweetheart, this is amazing, but we can't afford this. She's like, I can't pay those fucking bills.
Yeah.
Like she's like, what's gonna happen? You know?
I don't think we all have bills, but I don't know that we've faced what Dynamo's facing right now with fucking
It's like it literally
medical bills for him and
Yeah, like
someone else.
everything that I managed to pay because of the kindness of others in the last few weeks has been slid in of like, and like I don't even know. I don't even want to think about what chemo costs, but what are you gonna do? I actually think that the legal deadites department last night helped my special lady friend maybe get a grant, so that might be helpful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like she just found out, from some of our strange, some of the strange connections that we had that there is certain grants from the city and no one had taken the breast cancer one.
Wow.
So she's not positive that she got it, but
Well, still,
seems
just,
to be the only one in the running right now.
it's
as of
fucking
March.
awesome, though.
Yeah. And it could be only $1,500, or it could be, some more. But it will certainly help, like, cause
Yeah.
shit's
sure.
fucking nuts. Like that. Honestly, like I made a joke about the deadites going on the road, and Tiny yelled at me like he was my dad. So that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Corny says, Wolfie, tell them how my posters you sent were put in my mailbox. So Corny had relayed this story to me when it happened. I guess when we sent the posters, the mail person tried to put this long poster tube in the mailbox,
Outstanding.
hanging out
Like
into the road.
Come on.
So like
Nice.
more than half of the actual poster tube was like in the road.
Shit.
So apparently Corny has a really nice neighbor. They noticed this
And
and got it and put it
Oh,
on his front
good.
on his front steps.
Good.
Oh, good.
Or asked him if they wanted him to, or
Nice.
something like that.
That is real nice.
Yeah.
And I apologize because he didn't expound upon this at all. So if I apologize if this was just inside baseball and you were just telling me, or you were making a joke unfounded. But I got a message from Oily, and he asked if Raven Shadow packaged his poster, and I don't know anything beyond that.
I don't remember.
Why was he not happy with the extra one?
Anything else?
Oh, okay.
I just remember so he and I have and I could just text the dude. I don't know why we don't just break down and do that, but like we communicate on a social media format I don't think to go to all the time.
Yeah.
So he'll message me, and then 2 days later I'll see it, and I'll message him, and then 2 days later, I don't know, at some point in there he'll have messaged me back, probably right away, because he's a fucking real live human being. And so...
Bosch says the U.S. should really have universal health care, goddammit.
Where's Bosch from? Is
I
he
don't know.
from the U.S.?
I don't know. Bosch, let us know where you're from. I agree. Everyone
Because
should have
spoil
fucking
alert,
healthcare.
Bosch, we're on the fucking precipice of not having any sort of health care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Actually, when we're on the precipice of not being alive anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Like I was saying,
Well, yeah.
yeah, El Goro today, we were all chatting. El Goro said something about how it's going to be in like when he turns 70, but what it's going to be like is an Italian Mad Max knockoff. So
I want
maybe we
one of
could
those
look forward to-
Italian sword and sorcery knockoffs. I'd prefer that.
Well, maybe we could look forward to the next, 20,000 years and then think, all right, looks like the world's starting over again.
Bosch says Canada, Western Canada.
Eh?
I'm sorry if I've talked about this, but I think I talked to you about it in real life. I learned something really important about myself. Frazetta is like almost like 100% responsible for like the women that I'm attracted to.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Like just like a certain body type. Like,
Sure.
yeah. Not like in chains and topless and being flogged by ape men. That's
Wait.
good too. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to wrap this up. So
I think it was about time to wrap this up 200,000 minutes.
200,000 minutes ago. So if you guys want to support, first of all, if you want to support Dynamo and his growing medical bills, as we had just talked about, you can do so by going to doughtfordynamo.bandcamp.com. There is a compilation put together by the talented Myra K-Rock, and there's 19 tracks on there. Amazing, amazing bands.
Don't do it for that. Do it for how good the music is.
Yeah. Featuring the brand new track from the Deadites. It also has so many bands. I'm not going to name them because I'm going to forget some of them, but phenomenal bands. Some are our friends. Some, you guys may have heard on the show. Some you may not have heard ever, and we'll really dig them. So definitely go ahead, check that out. If you guys don't remember the website, you can go to trickortreatradio.com. I put it on the front page near the top. It is the featured release right now, and you can get it all for a minimum of $7, or you can pay as much as you want. If you have $1 million just lying around doing nothing, you don't want it, give it to Dynamo. It'll help pay his bills.
And just to clarify, that's 1,000,000,000.
Not
Thank you.
euros.
For the people who don't
Not
really know
euros,
numbers
yeah.
as well as Raven Shadow.
Courtney says, where the hell's my brother, Drive Jack and Mark?
Yeah, where the hell is he?
Oh,
He's out fighting the Gators, I think.
Kex is hanging out.
What's up,
Yeah,
sexy Kexy?
Kex
Kex.
says, hello, everyone popping in to say hello.
Kex, where's my do we got a voicemail report from that fucking drive-in-a-thon?
He's got more nuts in his mouth, I think.
Yes, I think I might.
That was
Actually-
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think I might want the report from Mick Awesome, actually, to make sure the PG-13 report of that trip.
First time Mike is now hanging out. Says, evening
Oh.
family, mind if I crash here for an hour or so?
Yeah, forever.
Sure, why not?
First time, Mike, you can crash for
Anytime.
about 200,000 minutes, or as long as you want.
Are you a good cuddler first time, Mike? Because Monster Zero is a bad one, so
I would imagine that he is. He's a real nice guy,
he
so
is.
I'm sure
you
that's
can come cuddle with me.
I'm sure that's part of his his whole package.
Cuddling is not one of my strong points.
I'm a tremendous cuddler, though.
Yeah.
You
I'm
cuddle yourself?
I think I cuddle dudes better because
Whoa!
well, no, because like I don't know, like I have a certain affliction. They talked about it in this film that we're gonna review. It's called
Getting a hard on.
it's called I think it's called sex apnea or something like that. They was So yeah, no, it's true. Like I don't get instantly aroused by like a man, but like lady parts near me, and fucking the couch turns into a catapult.
So you guys can go and go ahead and pick up Dough for Dynamo if you haven't already. And also, if you want to support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Go to trickortreatradio.com. They're all on the side there. We have our friends over at Horror Pack. We also have our friends over at XSplit. And the Amazon link, which Dynamo was able to use his all
Yeah, I
his
didn't know
gift
how that
cards.
worked.
Yeah,
I couldn't find any, like, I spent a couple days researching it, and I was like,
No, it worked. It worked. We're getting some money from that, and somebody bought a fucking treadmill. Thank you. We got a pretty good chunk of change from that.
shit.
So if you guys do shop on Amazon and you're not already using our link, go ahead, trickortreatradio.com, click on the Amazon logo, and just do all your shopping there. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. Doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
So if you guys would, we appreciate it.
The kids bought my special lady friend shoes. I think those probably popped up there
Oh,
too.
nice.
Twice, 2 different kinds of shoes.
Nice.
No.
And also, if you guys just want to go ahead and give us a donation, you can do so using our PayPal link on the trickortreatradio.com homepage. And I believe that is it. Raven Shadow,
Yes.
when you sit down after, we had our text conversation, you sit down to watch the dark tapes. What do you do to prepare for a movie like this?
I get a little scared, Johnny. It's just me and Oliver in the house now.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and I think
Wow.
there might be ghosts.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I started, and ghosts, I try to hide from the ghosts.
The ghosts of
Ghosts?
girls. The ghosts of girls Dynamo got to second base with.
Boogie, boogie. So I film myself.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of. I put a camera on
That's
myself.
a good idea. Good
just,
thinking.
just to kind of like make sure in case something, happened.
right.
Okay.
And some things happened,
Oh.
and I really can't show you guys.
Can we see the tape?
No, I don't want to talk about the tape anymore. Put the tape away. Burned it. It burns a bad tape. It's a bad tape.
It's a dark tape.
It's a dark tape. Dark tape. I read about Finland. Then I strapped on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
I'm Kevin,
And I'm Rick.
and we're your hosts of the Radio Violenta podcast. Join us as we drink and stumble our way through Italian occult cinema.
Follow us on Facebook.
And subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio.
Ruby Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you gotta check out Trick or Treat Radio.
All right, we are returned. We have returned on Trick or Treat Radio.
We have comma.
We have comma 000 returned. And we're going to talk about a movie called The Dark Tapes.
Oh, boy.
So this film here, just as I mentioned earlier, just hit VOD not too long ago. April 18th, I believe. And it is 98 minutes, horror, sci-fi, thriller. And it was directed by Michael McKeown. I think that's how you say it. McKeown. And Vincent Gostini. And it stars a whole bunch of people because it's an anthology. Mm-hmm. And it was also written by Michael McKeown. And it stars Amelia Aries Zorian, Daniel Baez, Caitlin Bailey, David Banks, Jonathan Biver, Lane Castro, Sarah Castro, Heather Compton, and Michael Cotter.
All alphabetical order. So.
Yep. And the synopsis: a genre-defying mixture of horror, sci-fi, myth, mystery, and thrills, told as 4 interlocking tales in one intelligent anthology. Ghosts, spirits, creatures, demons, and more from the paranormal world collide with rational curiosity. That definitely sounds like it was written by the director or the producer. No offense.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. When I see stuff like that, it usually kind of pisses me off because, like, I feel like I was talking to you guys about it today. Actually, that I feel like horror is going through like some sort of like having like a complex right now. That it's like trying to justify its place in the art world. I'm like, oh, is this going to be like kind of a highfalutin, you know, Babadook thing, and it certainly wasn't that. And I do think, I can't confirm or deny any of the science in the like the wraparound or anything like that. But I do really feel like it was pretty smart. And it was pretty smart in a lot of ways. And I'll put my card on the table. There was one of these that I would have liked to have seen longer, and maybe nixed out the wraparound. And I think that I really enjoyed. And then there was another one of these that Little Dynamo really enjoyed.
Hey, I know.
I think dynamos of all ages would have enjoyed it.
And though the payoff wasn't as good, like I thought it was neat. I thought it was something that I kind of knew about. So like, and they laid it out in a way that it was so fucking ludicrous that you didn't think it was going to pay off in that way in 100 years. You know what I mean? Like, so, like I feel like this was kind of bookend by, two really interesting. One of them I think was really good, and one of them I think was pretty okay. But here's my question to my co-peers here.
Well, do you mind if I step in real quick, Dynamo?
No.
Okay. Is it relating to the entirety of the film? Just go ahead and ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Why? Well, I'll wait for Raven Shadow anyway. What am I fucking thinking? Why can't anthologies of any budget, any talent, any grouping of stories or whatever else, like why can't they nail that wraparound?
I don't know. I thought this one was fairly interesting, though.
I thought that the monster was fucking awesome. I'll say that. I thought that was cool. I thought the stuff in it was interesting. But like I said, I think that they should have just made it run linearly. Yes, thank you. I've lost my vocabulary upon the arrival of Michael Ravenshadow. And just like gone, right? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that this one might have been the best or the second best one if they just let it run through, but it kind of like just ran out of steam,
So, okay, so let me first say, and you had just mentioned this. I was going to mention that it was an anthology, but you just did. So, this is an anthology. It is definitely independently made. No association with a major studio, and it's all. This anthology is all first person point of view or found footage, whichever you prefer. And the budget, from what I saw, is $65,000. So pretty small budget to work with. As we know, you can make a great film with a small budget. The one we always kind of harken back to is Gunwoman, right?
Right.
Corando had $70,000 and he made a fucking movie that looked like he had millions. So it is possible. You just have to be smart with your money and write a real tight script to go along with it. But yeah, so this one, they didn't have a lot to work with as far as funds go. And as far as I know, I believe this was a first-time director, Michael McCune. I think he's worked in film a little bit here and there. He wrote a film in 2005. What did he write? The Perfect Man. He wrote a film in 2005.
The Michael Ravenshaw story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this was his first directing credit. So you can sort of keep that in mind as you watch this as a first-time director. And so yeah, it is at a first glance, this is like a VHS style, especially with the way that they have the tapes, the dark tapes. They're kind of found tapes that that you're watching. So that's kind of the basic gimmick. And we have 4 stories. One is a wraparound, and that that kind of cuts between them all. And then we have 3 other stories, all in about the same length, probably about 20-25 minutes or so. And they all they don't link together, but in a way there's similar themes that run through them all.
They kind of link together in like a fucking harebrained narration that happens at the beginning.
Yes,
that I don't.
yes.
I still don't really know that
I don't know if you guys heard, but in the credits, there's also the narration continues in the credits.
Yeah.
I'm not done talking. Stop these words.
So my first impression.
Fuck that grip.
My first impression was that it definitely had a VHS vibe to it.
Yes.
Sure. Well,
and go ahead, Mars.
you're touching upon probably my favorite thing about it, and this has some peaks and valleys here. But I think, upon reflection, this afternoon, that I think that this is kind of this felt too sincere to be a cash-in. It's one of 2 things. It's one of 3 things.
Well, it's hard to
Either
call it a cash.
totally oblivious, right? Like of everything that came before it, right? Which I don't believe, right?
Yep.
A cash-in, which certainly isn't going to be the case, right?
Right.
Or this was kind of, I think, a response to the cinematic trends of the past, of like the 5 to 10 years before us. We had the anthology. We have the VHS thing. We have the Slender Man
Paranormal Activity.
Well, Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
We have the Slender Man Night Terrors. Remember,
Right.
before that shitty Nightmare movie. Remember when Night
God,
Terrors
yeah.
were like the fucking hotness?
Yep.
And Slender Man and all that. And then you also have like the alien abduction thing, which was like another trend again, for a while. So I think that element of it was really interesting because it was all of this sort of, not in a very kind of soulless asylum sort of way, but in a kind of like, like just this is these subgenres and happenings of the last few years through this one director's eyes. Which I thought was interesting. Even the webcam thing was a kind of a VHS did it, and there was a couple other webcam sort of things. So like they definitely he definitely I don't think he was checking boxes, but I think I can't believe he wasn't conscious, and I think that it's like when it's like you can make a McDonald's Big Mac at home, but it doesn't taste like a Big Mac. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is. This is a kind of like very sincere iteration of all of those. I don't want to call them tropes because I feel like we're not creating any new ones. They're sort of like flash in the pan like instances. But
well, one of the things that I think this film did fairly well is that even though it did a lot of that stuff, I think the point behind it was let's take a lot of these trends and kind of turn them on their head,
right,
and subvert expectations. And that's what I thought was probably one of the strongest parts about this film was that, especially, and we had talked about this. So basically the The one thing, so I'll talk about this real quick. The one thing that really threw me for a loop is that they start you in the middle, not in the middle, but they start you on To Catch a Demon, which is the dark tape number 1, which is the wraparound. And that one, you're thrust into this thing that all of a sudden you don't really understand. And I feel that they should have done a better job of bringing the viewer in, because I felt like I was on the outside and didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't understand the wraparound fully until the end.
Right.
And that's a fine narrative method to unveil it slowly, but when you have an anthology, you kind of want to set that tone early. And I think having something that was more direct might have been a better way to start it.
Yeah, that's the problem that I had as well, because when it started and it's like you said, you're on the outside, you're not exactly sure what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And
which is not necessarily a bad thing, but
no,
in
it's
this
not
case,
bad. But in this case, it didn't work out so well, because throughout the entire film, I just kept on going back to that opening scene as is there something I'm missing? Unfortunately, that was plaguing my brain throughout the entire running time of the film until it came full circle and it kind of resolved itself. But that was a bit of a problem for me, and within the first 2 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna hate this because of that. And I don't want that plaguing my brain while I'm trying to watch a flick, and it just wasn't a very good way to start out.
Yeah, and it was a little. There was a lot of kind of heady topics going on. Like there was some things that I'm just like, what the fuck are they talking about? And I almost felt like part of that whole first one was it almost seemed like a gimmick to use a specific piece of technology. Like it almost seemed like they built this narrative just to use this one piece of technology.
They picked it up. It's like, oh, this is the.
But the thing was, and once again, if that's what I thought, but they kind of subverted those expectations again, which I liked at the end. So let's go. We're obviously not going to give too much away in the spoiler in terms of spoilers, but let's jump to the next one, which is The Hunters and the Hunted, which is kind of the Ghost Hunters kind of one. And talk about this one. Once again, we won't talk about the punchlines, but this one definitely subverts expectations. You think it's one thing, and then towards the end, it sort of is not quite what you think. I thought there's some pretty creepy stuff going on in this, but it was pretty run-of-the-mill until the end.
Exactly. I thought so, too. I didn't think the effects for this were all that outstanding. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, that's one thing Wolfie and I would talk about before. All of the sins, I call it the Slumber Party Massacre 2 syndrome. All of the sins of this one were kind of abolished when they turned the bag upside down, right? Like when you're like, like everything, I thought there was a bit of because you also have to realize this being the first one, there wasn't much tone set. Like there felt like there was some overacting initially. And all of that stuff kind of worked itself out at the end.
Throughout the entire running time of the film, there is plenty of overacting in this movie, and a lot of heavy-handed dialogue as well. But that being said, I felt this was a fairly decent story. I would go so far as saying this was the best story of the bunch. And usually when it comes to anthologies, usually the first one is usually the one that they want to, get your attention so you could stick around to watch the rest of the film.
Are you sure?
From time to time, it's true. I mean, I'm not saying it's true all the time.
From time to time, a different, definitely different units of measure, right? Think about the Wooden Indian in Creepshow 2 versus the Raft.
Oh. I hate Creepshow 2.
Well. Think
you
about
hate it.
Think about
it's so good.
Think about Adam Wingard's Weird Eye one versus Safe Haven.
Yeah.
Oh, Safe Haven's great.
Yeah, it's the third one, not the first.
But I don't know.
I thought it was the fourth one.
The fourth one is
the
alien one.
No, I just thought that this was the best story all around.
It was.
Yeah, agreed.
The first one in Creepshow wasn't that anything to write home about compared to.
Cecil says this tried to check some odd meta boxes at the end there.
Agree. Yeah, I won't disagree.
Well, I was confused. And as mentioned before, I was kind of confused how it went from the wraparound, and I don't love wraparounds. You know what I
like runarounds?
Like run around Sue.
Like reach around.
Reach around.
Reach around.
what other kind of arounds do you like?
Wrench around, wrench it off. Like
Reach around.
yeah.
Reach up, and reach down.
Reach around.
I like that. And I was like,
Tug in time, but that's fine.
But
It's
also,
not thick like a snake, it's thin like a vine.
but also, I'm having a hard time with the title. I mean, at this point, I mean, the earliest date that the quote unquote dark tapes begin is in 2007. And by that time, everything was pretty much digital. Tapes were pretty much done and
05.
pretty much finished off by then, you know.
Well,
So where the tapes parts come in is kind
tapes
of
is a vernacular though, like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's because clearly
still lasts. Like
Well, yeah.
yeah, clearly there was some webcam stuff. It's not,
Yeah.
you know.
It's the same way. Like I was having a conversation where I really enjoyed I'll use this term, the first Rage Against the Machine record. You know, we say record.
yeah,
You know, when people buy
Sure.
shit online, it's just
I thought about that, and that makes sense and all, but when I
right.
I don't know, like what's that one? The Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
those
yeah.
were tapes.
Right.
You know, here it's it's just a word used to replace something like recordings or whatever.
Yeah, like
you know?
but like the dark recording media wouldn't have the same.
yeah, that doesn't sound good.
You know?
The
No,
dark
true.
MP4s. You're very literal.
The
you know
dark
that?
torrents.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
The dark stream.
Oh my God, we're on the
The
same
same
fucking
bottom
page.
page.
We are
Ah,
We're on the
shut
dark
up.
page.
Oh man, we're on the dark page together.
By the way, we just the director Michael McCune is now hanging out in our chat room, which is awesome or bad. But
when I
Hello, Michael.
Wolfie, just to kind of support our thing though,
yep,
I go to a Chikara show,
yes,
right?
Yep.
I leave there with a bag full of DVDs or Blu-rays. When I invite you over, what do I say?
Let's watch some tapes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fuck.
No.
You want a spoon?
So want some roofies?
Let's watch Chikara and chill.
So Michael McCune says, this is Michael McCune, the director. To Catch a Demon became the wraparound in editing.
Yeah, that's sort of what, not to sound like I fucking have any idea what I'm talking about. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
I don't want to interview him right now, but I do
Sure.
want to interview him at some point. Sure.
But the cool thing I think is that it did give insight into, even though they weren't, once again I'm kind of walking the line of don't want to give him a spoiler.
Yeah.
But I think that it did feed in fairly well to the others and gave little insight into them, and that's why I think as the film went on, I think it got more gratifying because you understood a little bit more about the world. Which I think was cool. And that's why, as we talked about in the beginning, it felt like you were just dropped in this world and didn't know what was going on, which, once again, I'm okay with. But in this, I think I would have liked to been grabbed a little bit.
It's that sort of thing like Lights Out, right? Like, I feel like that was an anomaly where you take an idea and make it, like, stretch it out to like a 90-minute film, and it kind of all pans out good.
Yep.
Like, I feel like there was just enough in that wrapper around that I didn't start thinking of science. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't start thinking of any other kind of weird logistics or anything like that. There's always the, if you give enough time to do it, there's always like what the, I didn't have time to think about what the monster can do or not do. Right. You know what I mean? So maybe in that sense, it might have worked a little better being broke up like that. But like I will stand by the fact that I feel like it was my second favorite, but it could have been my favorite by a lot if I watched that linear, because like I love science fiction horror, and it's a hard thing to like. That was like for a film that's like coming in, essentially, what I'm thinking I'm gonna get, the first few minutes, even the first episode, even the first segment, which is my favorite. I thought I was getting a bit of a VHS homage almost, right? Like that was some cool quartermass shit there, like the type of stuff that you don't generally get from like a horror thing.
Yeah.
And like that was really, really cool. I think that, like, for me, the weakest one I feel like is, though it had some neat elements in it, is when they got away from the sciencey end of things, or the technology end of things, you know what I mean, or the real life end of things.
Yeah.
And because they had to give a lot of, like, even though it was cool, like, I smiled listening to it. There was, like, in the Cam Girls, which was the second one, right?
Well, it was. I mean, it was the second
third
self-contained.
Yeah, self-contained one, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like, there was like a lot of expository, dialogue that you I mean, I guess in the age of Wikipedia, you look shit up, but like, I've just never once, like, and I know a bunch of gaming nerds, and I've never once been, you know what liquor means. So like, like that sort of stuff, I don't know, just didn't go. We often watch films that irritate me because I think they're dumb. I was left with this one in the sense of a lot of the parts I didn't enjoy were that I wasn't, and maybe I'm alone here, and maybe I am dumb, is that I wasn't positive I understood what was going on. But in Cam Girls, like, I feel like the only kind of red herring was that they served it up so obviously, like, I didn't even think of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So real quick, let's wrap up Hunters and Hunted, and then we'll get. No, it's fine, and we'll get on to Cam Girls from there. So, about Hunters and Hunted, I think we've pretty much all discussed. I think we've said our piece for the most part, and a lot of the kind of leaps of intuition that I had to make in there all made sense at the end. So there's not even anything worth really like nitpicking, because I was like, oh, that I don't know about that, but then at the end of it, it all wraps
Makes
up
sense.
and everything made sense. Yeah. And one other thing, Mars, that I think they did a really nice job of is, and especially in a short, we talk about this, and we've talked about it with Michael Neal, filmmaker Michael Neal, is that I love the spatial awareness of the house.
Yeah, no, I agree. They did like a really great job with that. Like,
it's a nice house.
I do.
Well, I always that's the one thing I've always enjoyed when it comes to cameras being, photographing shit, like trying to catch ghosts or whatever, is that they always catch the depth of hallways or rooms.
Well, the main thing I'm talking about is the layout of that house.
Right. So when he can't find anyone and he's going from place to place,
and where he is.
You really understood all those things.
Yeah. Because if you don't have an idea of the layout of the house,
because even if you watch those witch hunting shows, whether they do it on purpose or not, or witch hunting, ghost hunting show, live from Salem,
witch hunting.
Yeah,
He's over there, burner.
Tonight is Helga Witch or is she a whore? Does she float or get back on the boat? Later on, the Witch Hunters. It's burn, baby, burn. Did she give everyone the plague, or is she just sick? But one thing those witch hunting shows do terribly, and sometimes
witch hunting show.
one time those ghost hunting shows do terribly, and sometimes I think they do it on purpose.
Home the groom or
and
on
sometimes
the
I think that they just don't care. Is that they do a terrible job of like giving you like depth of where you are. So if they're trying to be claustrophobic, all the claustrophobia comes from the fact that they have like a camera shoved in their face. Like, I feel like it's much scarier. Like, the point of what makes ghosts scary is that they've invaded your space, right? Yep. So if you're walking through, your house and you're uneasy, that's much harder scare than, I'm walking through a spooky cave I've never been before, or an alien environment, or the woods. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like that's like definitely was a fucking triumph in this thing, because like I really, and it's important, right? Because you don't want to, like, it's easy to go off the rails. A perfect example of this is that Blair Witch that they just made. There's a scene at the end of the Blair Witch where they're running all over a fucking house, running amok, and like it just like you just don't like. it's not disorienting. It's just irritating, you know. So
running amok, never giving a fuck.
Right. So I think that's a cool thing. I you know how I got my biggest lesson on perception of film or video versus real life? Sitting in the crow's nest in the ECW arena.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a very big room.
Nope.
That's not a very big room. But if you go back and watch the night that Kimona Wanalea danced atop the ECW arena, like that
It's the second week in a row.
That place looks like a fucking sea of humanity, the way they shot that. Like, it just looks like fucking, it just goes on for fucking ever. It looks like a Madison Square Garden all on one level. Like, it just goes forever and ever and ever. And, like, it was just a matter of just, you know, how they fucking shot it.
Or it could have just been Kimona.
It could have been. I saw a little more of the Kimona Wanalea the other day. There's a little more going on there than I thought. Especially the part I didn't know that, though the fans couldn't see. Devon and some other guys had got up behind the wall where all those holes were and were watching. Really? Yeah, nice. I was so jealous. You really liked that a lot. It made me uncomfortable. Really nice. But, yeah, so I think that spatial awareness, like, is like, something that really works in this, because you also have the second one where they only have a limited amount of area they can go, or they get fucked up like a car crash, right? Which I think is another time that splitting that
Cam
wraparound.
girls? Is that what you're talking about?
No, splitting that wraparound. I mean, up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cam girls just.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Cam girls just does all sorts of crazy shit that I don't understand.
All right.
Like
so, does anyone have anything else to say about The Hunters and the Hunted?
I really enjoyed it. It's one of the best things I can say about an anthology, short or feature that I wish there was more. Like
that's the idea, right?
I could have gone, this could have been, I don't know if it's a feature is the right word, but I could have been.
It left you wanting more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted more.
Okay.
I wanted more. Very good.
Cool. All right. So let's move on to Dark Tape number 3, which is Cam Girls. And
I wanted more of that too. If you know what I mean.
I have to say this one was. It seemed very, once again, and I think this is what they were going for, at least in just seeing what Michael's saying in the chat room, is it seemed like a lot of other films that we've seen, and what they did with it I thought was pretty neat, because at first I was like, are we really just going to see this whole kind of cam girl thing? I literally thought we were going to see dudes spanking it on the movie,
Well, one guy was getting ready.
Yeah.
That's a dark tape, Johnny. That's a dark tape.
That's a dark net tape.
I was getting ready myself. I broke out the Dixie cups and hid the cat.
What? The Dixie cups? What do you do with a Dixie cup?
That's not why they're called Dixie.
He puts the dick in Dixie.
I ain't whistling Dixie.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't like. I'm gonna put it out there. I didn't like Cam Girls.
Okay.
I was hoping I'd like it because I
like Cam Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cam Girls felt a little bit too predictable. To me.
It was
Cam Gills sounds like the forward of the 76 Flyers.
It wasn't predictable to me. However, as Mars said, there's a time that you're like, oh, all the signs were there. I should have known.
Yeah, they say it.
Right.
Though there also I feel like there was some weird kind of stuff put out there. I just feel like this one, I just feel like it didn't work. I'm sorry. Don't hit me, Michael.
I don't think he can reach you.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this one didn't work.
All right.
I feel like as like linearly, I keep doing it. Like from like point A to point B, it worked because like we said, the red herring was delivered in a way that it was so matter of fact that I didn't necessarily pick up on it. And then we got to where it went, and it's like, oh, like you said, they laid it all out there. But there were some other things that were kind of like visual things that look just I don't know, kind of look like the monitors at like Man Ray for all my Bostonians from the 90s, and like I just was like, man, should I be getting something from this, or is it just imagery, or you know what I mean, like is that dude really there? Like
so the thing for me is this one felt to me kind of like a modern day like I hesitate to say Twilight Zone, but that style of storytelling. You know,
was there any manipulation going on there? Like
manipulation of what?
machinations?
What do you mean?
With the two like lead characters in this, like
Two cam girls.
the two cam girls.
She was like a ghoul. But I can't talk about it. Yeah,
don't-
there
don't-
was.
All right. But
There was some.
Was there something that
There's something bigger going on.
Yeah.
was projected?
There was some
on
like
the
Mina
audience?
Harkin like manipulation,
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
happening.
but with the audience.
No. Yes. Yeah. Well, you think he like? I don't know. I'm a fucking horny fat guy, but I'm not gonna do that.
Right, because like
I'm just gonna, it's gonna be like, well, thank you, no, thank you. I'll wait for my refund and I'll go back and watch the Page video some more.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hello, Fortube.
Oh god.
Axel Braun. Let's see what's the parody this week.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Walking Dead
Page.
one, by the way. Gang.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. I just saw a clip. Someone told me about a clip.
Did you see the Page video? That's good.
What's the Page video?
The
Oh yeah, the
British-
Page video.
the
Yeah.
What's the Page
attractive British.
Oh no,
wrestler?
come on.
Why?
Because it's an invasion of privacy. It's stupid.
Didn't invade any of my privacy. I don't know what you're talking about. No,
That was not intended for you to see.
I don't think so.
Oh, we're talking webcam. So I think this. I think Michael wants to hear.
I think that this girl. I think that lady is the biggest carny.
Yeah,
Her and
but
her
do you
Connie
think that what's his name? Xavier Woods wanted that out there?
No, that's maybe an invasion of his privacy.
Right.
But at
That's
the
what
same
I'm saying.
time, like when I meet him, I'm gonna be high fiving him for more than bootios.
There's Michael in the chat room has given some really amazing stories, and I kind of
cool.
I kind of would maybe rather just have him on the show at some point.
Yeah, let's
as
make that happen.
As opposed to just reading them in a chat room, because I think it'd be more interesting to hear them from him.
Amazing stories. Was that an anthology reference,
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, have him.
Yeah, email us.
Can we call him?
Not intentionally.
Email us.
Not intentionally. I think we'll reach out to him, MC.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Email us.
Hey, Mike, call me.
Call us.
like me on Facebook.
Contact me at Monster0. Still waiting for my first email at gmail.com.
Hey, I get emails telling me I got sexy singles just dying to meet me. So
Or is that Filipino Cupid again?
Hold on for a second. Is that really what happened? Supposedly that was a leak?
Yes.
I thought that she put it out because she's
No.
fucking crazy.
No, it was a leak.
She is crazy though, right?
People
I don't know
it,
about
it was
after
like,
watching those photos, yeah, she's.
it was like the hack from like the from like a year or two ago.
the fappening.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a bunch that were leaked in.
What
in
is the
that.
fapping?
I feel I'm out.
I think MZ can tell you.
We've been on the boat too long.
Let's talk about the movie, then I'll discuss the fappening with you.
I have a whole Justice League cast to get to.
What's happening?
Yeah, it's what's fappening. It it has Raj and Rerun and.
Oh man, I really thought she put that out because she was fucking nuts.
No,
sorry,
I will.
Paige,
What
you're
I
not
will
as
say
crazy
for
as I
this,
thought.
what I will say for this movie is
girl,
that
though.
it does have some pretty interesting creatures, some very interesting demons, and
Yeah, I love
there is one in the Cam Girls. There is one demon in here that shows up. That's actually that like I'm like shit.
Yeah.
You know which
you're
one
right.
I'm talking about, right?
The couch one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was neat. That was cool
I
stuff.
thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty hip.
That was again, but like, I feel like that was another cool sum of the parts that didn't really,
Right.
for me, connect.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It just didn't gel right for me. For
Yeah,
some reason.
I think the thing, like, I liked how it subverted expectations, and I thought it was going to be one thing. Like, I literally thought we were going to get, like, a lesbian scene on camera.
So did I.
And dudes whacking it to it.
How's that scary, though?
It's not, but I thought something would happen.
fantastic.
But I thought that was going to set you up for something else. But that didn't happen. So we got the story that we got. I thought then it became pretty tense when they picked that one dude and she's telling him what to do. You know,
Yeah.
like that was pretty tense. And then what happens at the end, I thought was pretty cool. So once again, it did subvert expectations. I thought it was going one way and then completely went another way. And Michael says that was me behind the couch.
Oh, really?
And he said, I'll be on the show. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Even though he's listening, apparently he doesn't mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. We're not like.
No, I know. We're just a bunch of idiots. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. And like I don't know. Like we also are all of us in some regard. My least favorite word, as Johnny knows, artists. So we get it, man. You know.
Yeah. And he also said there's a cool little thing. Actually, maybe I won't say this.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
wait.
want to say it on the air, but he said that there's a 5th story that'll be on the DVD.
No shit.
So that's pretty cool. So all right, let's. Do you guys have anything else to add to Cam Girls?
No.
All right.
No.
So let's move on to the final. I guess it's aside from the wraparound, this is the final. It's called Dark Tape number 4, Amanda's Revenge. So I thought this one was fairly interesting. I think to me it was a little bit too slow paced. I would have liked a little bit more going on. But I think it was a cool play on repressed memories and PTSD.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a different take on it, I should say, because they almost kind of say like this isn't like something like it's not repressed feelings. It's like something else. So I thought that was pretty cool. And when I was watching it, T-Dog had mentioned to me, she's like, this is like Home Alone on crack. Like, is that scene where they're setting up the traps and stuff?
Right.
And
it reminded me also of Nikki's first movie that we watched there, Mickey Keating. Yeah.
The
Pod.
Pod.
Yeah. In that sense where like there was like the verge of an intervention for people not, getting, and I think that's like an area that's ripe for, because that's terrifying from both ends, right? When somebody is fucking off their, off their rocker, and then if you are so positive that, like that different perception of reality is a really interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I agree about the slowness, the technology. I felt like even if like that setup is like 100% legit, like when they started bringing like Edison coils and stuff into it, I was like, I don't already know that this guy would have access to Edison coils, but whatever. It just I think that it didn't click for me, so that's why I was thinking of those things. And I think in a film, even though you didn't see it, in a film with fucking cool monsters in it, like I feel like this kind of let me down with what was the little that you did see. That's just me. That's me.
Well,
don't hit me, Michael. Not you. You better not ever fucking hit me.
Oh, wait, which one?
You. Your name's Michael.
Thank yes.
That's what you.
The other one.
What's the matter? You forgot your goddamn name?
I don't know.
This segment was a bit too slow. It could have been shortened by a good 5 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe.
3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Sure, why not? And while the monster, the demons and the monsters in this are good. They are good. They are well executed.
Mm-hmm.
It just there's something about it that I just didn't dig. The Edison coils for the I know I'm jumping around, but the Edison coils for filming without electricity.
Well, it's for audio, and then she had set up some, I think, 35mm cameras to.
I think it was 8mm.
8mm.
Yeah, that
to shoot, without electricity,
right.
which isn't impossible.
I saw that and it just looked like something from an iPhone app. Just the way it was kind of presented.
Yeah,
it just came off like an iPhone.
I thought
app
it looked
to me.
fine.
Yeah, that
honestly,
didn't bother me at all.
It looked good. It looked fine.
Have you seen an 8mm film?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Yes, I have.
Hey, got plenty of noodles over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that again, like I think that you're picking up on a different thing than I am, but it really just comes down to that there was something that didn't roll over and you weren't necessarily engaged,
So here's just real quick, because this is relevant to our discussion. Michael says, Amanda's was slower, was hard to work a story in the found footage format. It was normal narrative. If it was normal narrative, would have been quicker and more action. And it says, yeah, the problem with found footage is you have no edit points and cutaways, so trimming scenes is a bitch.
That's true. That's true. And there were a lot of there were some areas in which I wasn't sure if it was going from first person perspective and then maybe going to third person perspective. But it was all first person. In the end, it just turned out to be all first person. But there were a couple of scenes where it was like, is it? You know, I wasn't sure if they're switching over to third person or not. But you know, I guess it's all first person, so that's fine by me. I mean,
so and I liked the idea behind it and some sort of some of the themes that they were working with, maybe more than the overall short itself. But I think it was an interesting topic to tackle and an interesting way to do it.
I will tell you this. I fell head over heels in love with this girl, and that pretty much sums up everything that's fucking the matter with me. Yeah.
With Amanda?
Yeah. Like, I'd be like, yes.
She knows how to kickbox, too,
yes,
man.
come, I'll protect you. I'll take care of you. You know, go shoplift.
Actually, she looks like she can kick. She looks like she can kickbox. I think she'll protect you.
She didn't look like she was doing it. But yeah, no, I've really felt before the kickboxing. Then that was a little too much X-Men for me. I was turned off.
and I also think that trauma can certainly be one of the themes I thought was cool was that trauma can definitely be a doorway to sort of more spiritual experiences, if you will. Like maybe it's not right to call it spiritual, but you know, trauma can definitely be a doorway to different sorts of experiences, whether it's paranormal or whatever, you know. So I thought that was the themes being played upon here were really cool. And you know, and sometimes I think that whole found footage conceit definitely it can be a hindrance at times. And I think in this one, it definitely was. I think it was a cool idea, and there was a lot of really awesome stuff going on. And I think that the found footage kind of limited this one telling the story that could have been better, I think. So yeah. You guys have anything else to add to this one here?
No. No.
Okay.
I didn't care for this one.
All right. So why don't we just kind of wrap up with the end of the wraparound, To Catch a Demon. And I think we won't talk about it, but I think the end was really cool. And I thought that the way that they played up, they referenced the beginning. And it was kind of like, because we talked about at the beginning, when you're thrust into it and you don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah, I was kind of relieved when
they tied that all up.
It brought me back into it.
Yeah.
Like I was more like, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought that was really interesting, the way they played with time dilation, as they referred to. Sure. I thought it was interesting. And at the end, I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. I kind of wanted more after that, you know, of what happens now, you know? So I thought that was, once again, Raven Shadow, going back to your wanting more. Yeah. That's always a good thing. You don't always want to know everything that happens. And, you know, so I thought that was a nice place to end on. And I think it gave you a little bit of insight into what was going on in some of these as well, which I thought was cool. So I thought the wraparound definitely did its job. I think I would have liked if it got to the point a little bit sooner, but I think it wrapped up really nicely.
The wraparound was good.
Keep away from reach around soon. Jesus Christ.
I thought at the end I enjoyed what they did with the wraparound. I thought it worked out fine. I do agree that I think they should have added more toward the beginning to bring us in a little bit more rather than at the end. But overall, I mean, the wraparound itself was actually quite good. I mean, I was a bit perturbed at the beginning, but it turned out to be okay. I was fine with it. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything to add before we go to the overall verdict here?
No, without spoiling.
Okay. No. All right. Well, let's head to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Raven Shadow.
Woo! I'm still a sucker for anthologies.
Hey, you can just stop there. I'm still a sucker.
I'm still a sucker, comma.
000.
No, man, I enjoy anthologies. I enjoy the genre known as the found footage genre. I do.
Well, so long as you can admit it.
Hi, I'm Michael Raven Shadow, and I enjoy the genre that's the found footage genre.
Hi, Michael.
Thank you, Dynamo.
Hi, Michael. You're special.
I fucking am special. My mom tells me all the time.
He had his own bus.
Still.
It's true, yeah. I'm an only child, okay? Didn't have to make more. Right the first time.
They got it right the first time? They perfected it?
No, I think what I'm trying to say is that, some more hits than misses, I think. I don't know. I would have wanted a little more out of some.
Okay.
Tepid treat.
Okay. MZ.
I'm going to disagree. This had more misses than hits. When they did hit, they hit fairly well. The wrap around the monsters, I thought they were really, really well done. But there's a lot of other things in here that just didn't jive with me. I felt that the dialogue at times was quite heavy-handed, some overacting, and also I felt for the technology that cameras have back then in 2007, which not in comparison to now, but back then was state-of-the-art and actually quite good. There really shouldn't be that many technical glitches. Now I can understand.
Those glitches are fucking fake. That doesn't happen. That's not the way things happen.
You're talking to Mike Dynamo.
Yeah. No. Don't tell him to talk in the microphone. I'm trying to say something here.
Well, nobody cares. Those glitches don't happen. So that doesn't have anything to do with what time it is. That's a legitimate cinematic conceit.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's my
But
point.
it seemed to happen when there was something paranormal.
Well, that's the point I was going to make. I was going to say, I was paying attention, and it was like every time there's a scene where something paranormal is happening or is going to happen, there are technical glitches. However, there are also a couple of scenes in which there is no paranormal activity going on, and there are technical glitches. So I don't, I think they edited in a few too many of those, and that was a bit of a distraction. Yeah, you know what? Overall, it's a nice try, but overall, this is a trick.
All right, Marsman.
My thing, I think I'm more bothered by the stuff that I liked in this than anything I disliked, in the sense where, like, I feel like, or like, was just more so indifferent to. You know what I mean? There's nothing to hate in here. The worst parts were clever, but I do feel like it's weird. It's the fucking pitfall of our rating, right? Like a trick means I didn't enjoy watching this, and that's not true at all. I feel like independent filmmakers, I'm just a fucking big fat asshole with a microphone. But, to the cat in the chat room, to anybody else who might be listening, that 10 fucking minutes matters. Like, that 10 minutes matters. And I feel like a lot of the things that I didn't like about this, I probably wouldn't have thought about it if I had to not, like, sit through it twice or sit through you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't, like, outlast its welcome a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Raven Shields and say this was a tepid treat because I feel like I really enjoyed that first one, and I really enjoyed that first one, and I really would have liked to see the wraparound through. Like, I was really intrigued by it, and I really liked the concept of it. Like, all that stuff I liked. I do think that the last one is like a bit of a dud, and I think that the Cam Girls doesn't really work. But I mean, I don't know. There's certainly worse things to there are certainly we watch a lot of garbage here, and I think one thing that one muscle we don't get to use a lot on this show is to that's not that one too is to kind of like be able to see intention a little bit. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And like, I would rather watch a million, and this guy's going to show up here anytime too because I fucking can't let it die. But I'd rather watch a fucking million cam girls that didn't work for me than watch fucking one more schlocky, shitty, tromery, dear God no-y, like bad movie for bad movie's sake, low budget feature. Like this guy had the money he had, he used it the best he could.
Yeah.
And I think that, this is an interesting little curiosity in the I'm looking for a word I don't have here. Wolfie, help me.
Curiosity.
No, curiosity I know, but like a curio in the found footage
Enigmatic
genre.
gem.
Sure.
Conceit?
No, like curio, like what's a curio cabinet? Is that what they call it? Like where you
Sure.
where you put your curiosities? I actually don't know what goes in.
Dear God, no!
Orphans. I have no idea what goes in there. But yeah, like I think that there are people in the chat room who are going to say like, you're just saying that because the director jumped in. But Wolfie and I were talking about everything we talked about on air before the mic started to roll.
And just to be completely honest, the fact that Michael, the director, popped in the chat room has no bearing on our conversation.
No.
Like,
ask that really nice guy that made the Love of Johnny X there, or whatever it's called.
The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. Yeah,
Paul Bunnell.
Bunnell. Yeah, I shouldn't. Some of us destroyed his film, and he was listening, and he was a good sport, and he contacted us and asked to come on the show and to talk. So, that's one thing we do try to pride ourselves on is to just be honest about it. And the thing is, we, as you mentioned, Dynamo, we understand art because that's kind of what like we're artists to a degree. Like we're in a band, we have a podcast, we've done a bunch of different artistic things, artistic endeavors. We've made our own video podcast, almost 50 episodes.
Hey, I'm an artist too. Don't forget me now.
One-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine
and actor.
I was just gonna say and actor.
You were in like 49 of those 50 cookie cuts.
So we do understand, and I just want to finish this point in that we understand that it takes a lot. It's not easy to put your work out there and have people critique it. It's that's a very difficult thing to let it go in the ether and just have people either destroy it or love it. And once it's out there, it's kind of not yours anymore. And to a degree, it's whatever people take it as. So I think it is brave of other artists to listen to that. And that's one thing we want to do is we have destroyed films in the past.
Yeah.
I kind of, I think we've gotten away from that.
To, yeah. I mean, if this makes it any easier, as an anthology film, like I tend to do math with it when I'm trying to figure it out. And this would be like a 50 for me because there's 4 of them, right? And 2 of them don't work for me, to varying degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. Like this is, this is like an interesting movie, which has a lot of fucking real estate. Bill and I talk about it from time to time. Like, just give me something that I like, don't try to fucking give me a hand job. Don't try to make yourself feel smarter.
Whoa.
And like
the views of Dynamo doesn't speak for everybody.
Yeah, make your fucking movie. Make it. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't, as much as there was resemblance, like we talked about, this didn't look like anything else, So did this work the whole time? No. Is this interesting? Yes. Like, and I think that that's like, I don't know, like everyone that sits here will tell you that I'm irritated with our film input lately, but I don't think that this hit that bad end.
Mm-hmm. Did you gave your final verdict?
Yeah, I said
Tepid.
what rated tepid treat.
Okay, so go ahead and give mine, and we'll wrap this up. For me, I think despite having a very indie feel to it, and what I mean is there's definitely budget constraints here. I thought throughout its runtime, this film looked better than what the budget was.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
It outpunched its weight, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I also felt that it was pretty refreshing and it was a pretty refreshing entry into the tired genre known as the found footage genre. Because whenever I see one of these coming up on our radar, I'm like, not another found footage, because it's just kind of tired, and but we still will watch them. And when someone does something different, I think in that sense, if you can do it different, it's gratifying because we're so used to seeing kind of the same old shit, Yeah. So I also liked how all the shorts subverted expectations in some way, whether it was successful or not. There was something for you to kind of chew on, like, I didn't really like the way they did this, but that was cool. Like, that's a cool idea. Especially with Amanda's Revenge, even though I don't think it fully worked. There was a lot of cool concepts that they were playing with. So this is probably not going to end up on my year-end list, but I'm definitely not sorry I saw it. And I think that this will definitely find its audience. And I think a lot of people that listen to the show will probably dig aspects of it, if not the entirety of the film.
I think a lot of people dig on it. One thing that I wanted to say that I forgot, and I thought you were going to bring it up twice, Wolfie, so I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only real tell of this film's budget, as in, it doesn't look like fucking Star Wars, obviously, but looking for what he made it for, I would have to say is the acting at times. You know what I mean? It's certainly not in the fucking monsters. That's for sure. Like a couple of the fucking monster effects in this are fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that the acting is probably at this movie's biggest sin as far as what the budgetary tell is.
All right.
That's what I think. Don't hit me, Mike.
So for me, I'm just going to say it was a treat. It certainly was just, it was like over that line where I enjoyed watching it and I liked a lot what was going on. I did have some parts of it that I didn't think were perfect, but overall I enjoyed the movie, and I think that a lot of people that listen to the show will probably enjoy it as well. So, and Michael says, treat, I won't give you a hand job, I promise. All right, so that is going to do it for our coverage of The Dark Tapes. If you guys do want to catch it, it is available on VOD. You can go ahead. I know it's available on Vimeo and pretty much every VOD platform that I'm aware of. And I think you guys can check it out. So go ahead and dig into it and let us know what you think.
I do have a favor for Michael.
Okay.
Could you please make a pretty girl come on and make Monster Zero slit his throat?
Would you do that, MZ, if a pretty girl told you to?
Probably.
He's so backed out, sperm would come out.
I'm so pathetic. Oh, God, dude.
Episode 250 is coming.
You're probably right.
All right, so next week.
Michael's never coming on this show.
Yeah, he's like, damn it. I already said it was going on.
Fuck this. I'm out of here.
So next week, guys, episode 250. Big deal. We're coming up on 5 years-ish. We're getting close. 250 fucking episodes. More if you count Halloween, the year-end show, 0.
Star Wars.
Actually, got to add that in there.
There's more than that.
So Michael says, thanks, guys. 3 out of 4 treats. Well, he said 2 out of 3, but he got 3 out of 4 treats. iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, yes, all that. Xbox, PlayStation. So it's everywhere. You guys want to find this on VOD, you can find it pretty much any of those platforms. So next week, let's first talk about our in-studio guest.
Hopefully Dynamo Mars.
Sitting between Monster Zero and Dynamo Mars.
He may have some space.
We are going to have filmmaker, our fucking good buddy.
Stunt Tiny.
Been a fucking while. Jar Jar fucking Blinks is going to be here, everyone.
All right.
Our buddy Jarrett Blinkhorn is going to be in studio. And he's not alone. He's bringing a Blinkbuster video. He's going to let us rent a film called Things. I've never heard of this movie. I looked it up, and holy shit, does this look like a fucking piece of work.
John Carpenter's Things.
Stranger Things.
No, Things.
Oh, Things. Okay.
Let me show you the cover of it. I think you guys will Things. I love when you type in Things. It's not even on the list of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things.
So here's the box art.
Wow.
I know this movie.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. You had it at
We have it at the video store?
Starship,
Really?
yeah. It's like cockroaches or something, right?
No.
I think I've heard of this.
I don't think so. Things, warning, horror, and brutal violence in full color.
That guy looks like the drummer of Classic American Hamburger, a band we used to play with all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
So we're going to have Blinkhorn in studio. We're going to do Blinkbuster video. He's bringing Things. He's going to let us rent that. And he's also bringing another treat. Can't talk about it.
No.
But you're going to want to be here for the live show. That's all I'll say. It's a visual treat that you got. That it's only going to be on the live show. It's not even going to make the podcast.
Oh boy!
Because it's a visual thing. So you guys need to come check out the live show next week for episode 250. That'll be on Wednesday, May 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have Jarrett in studio. We're going to watch Things, and then he's got a special visual treat. And also, not only that, we're going to have 2 guests joining us later on in the show for an interview segment. That is Jeremy Gillespie, Stephen Kostanski from Astron 6, directors of The Void, are going to be joining us.
All right.
I am so excited about that.
Oh, man. I'm palpitating.
So we got a chance real quick to meet up with Jeremy and Stephen at Boston Underground Film Fest. MZ and myself got to chat with them for a few minutes.
I can't wait, man. This is going to be awesome. I'm gushing.
You're what?
I'm gushing.
Gushing?
Gushing.
Fucking gushing all over the place.
Like a priest at a Little League game.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It's
Holy
gonna be
moly.
awesome.
I've
Go to commercial.
the listeners will also get a special Tiny White style moral quandary next week that we haven't had in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? How?
Would a podcaster who has been on all 250 episodes of his podcast be more of a scumbag if he misses that episode, or more of a scumbag if he misses his girlfriend's anniversary present that he bought for her in January?
Oh boy, that is that's it's kind of like in Dig Two Graves.
Yeah,
that
it's not-
quandary.
yeah, it's not.
Damned if you do, damned if you do.
Yeah, I'm effed either way.
It's an equation from hell.
Myra couldn't go either. Thanks, Myra.
Maybe she didn't want to go.
She just didn't love me.
Yeah.
Maybe we could find
I
some old
love you,
guy dressed
Myra.
up in your cardigan and he can sit here.
Wow.
Wow. It's nice. Nice.
You? Why don't you wear a
yeah.
fucking cardigan next
Fuck
week?
the cardigan, man.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Walmart special.
You were not wearing that for episode 250.
Hey, it's Fat MZ.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm going to miss my anniversary trip, then you are going to wear some fucking big kid clothes for the 250th episode.
I will.
Just a fucking I'm not asking for a fucking tie.
First time Mike says MZ is gushing, I'm getting scared.
It's like an 8th grade science project.
So I'm super excited for next week for episode 250. It's
Yeah.
going to be fucking fun. We have some awesome people. Blinksy's going to be here. We've been meaning to get him on, and then we was getting so close to 250. I figured we might as well keep him for the big show. So we held off on getting him here because I wanted to get him for 250. He was also on 200, I believe, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So he's our
Costanzi and Gillespie, man. I can't believe it's gonna
Yeah.
be awesome.
So everyone out there, if you haven't already, go check out The Void in preparation
Yes.
for our discussion with Jeremy Gillespie and Stephen Kostanski. I want you have seen that movie before we talk to them, because we're going to dive into that flick and get some more information about it. So, all right. Well, I think it is now time to head to a commercial.
Probably watch Manborg.
Manborg, more like asshole.
I have a quick thing, Johnny, to wet everybody's whistle.
Ooh.
I don't know if I mentioned this before. After the break, and I'll be quick, not only do I have me and Michael Ravenshadow's casting of Justice League International Dream television show,
Yes.
I also have, probably more detailed than I can give, but I also have an outline for the 2-hour season premiere.
Get out of here! Get out! Take a hike! Get out of here! If you're not one of us, then just take a hike! Take a hike! Get out of here!
That wasn't to you, Dynamo.
That guy's got a nice ding dong.
My name is Manborg.
Where's the? I'm looking for the asshole.
Manborg.
More like asshole.
Those are some pretty fancy shenanigans you pulled back there.
I forgot about
Son of a bitch. Manborg. More like asshole.
There you go. Finally. Okay, so we're going to head to a commercial break, and we will be back, and we're going to hear from Dynamo and Raven Shadow. We're going to hear their Dream Justice League International TV show cast.
In 2 and 2.
In 2 and 2, 000.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I promise I won't.
We are back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, boy.
That sounds a lot like the singer of Eurydice.
It's true.
That is our version of It's No Good from the Depeche Mode Enjoy the Covers album.
Yeah.
So that is Lovely Oracle on vocals.
I can't wait to talk about that Depeche Mode record that I haven't heard because it's not out yet.
What?
Huh?
What?
The new Depeche Mode record.
Because it's not out?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's not out yet.
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's been out for like a couple weeks, I think.
I don't think it has.
Let me look it up right now. What's the name of the album? Here. Yeah, no, it's definitely out.
You sure?
Yep. Spirit.
Because I feel like I tend to pre-order those.
Released March 17th. So
maybe I
almost
did get
2
it.
months ago.
I wonder if I have it twice. Because I tend to pre-order.
Because I've had it for like 6 weeks at least.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I usually pre-order their albums, and it seemed like it never showed up. So.
Oh, I don't know.
So I just assumed it hadn't come out yet. But it probably did come.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably stole it too.
That was cool that Michael McEwen came on.
Yeah,
to,
man.
Chat.
You never know who's going to pop in the Trick or
chat
Treat
room.
Radio chat room on Wednesday nights, right?
Yeah.
You never
That was
know.
awesome.
Never know what will happen. So, yeah, it was awesome. And he said, back to work. Thanks again, everyone, for the kind words. So he did pop in for the review, and we appreciate that. And we'll be in touch with Michael, and I would be definitely curious to speak with him and get some insight into the, some more of the behind-the-scenes stuff, because he had some really interesting stories that he was relaying on the chat. But I want to keep that exclusive. I want the people in the chat room to have that. And I think it would be more interesting to have him come on air and convey those stories as opposed to me reading them.
Yeah, sure.
So
hear it in his own words.
Exactly.
Throw whatever kind of emotion he wants to throw into it. And
yeah.
No, and you know how we are. We always support the indie filmmaker constantly. It's something that we do.
Unless we hate their film.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
And we didn't, and just for clearance, we didn't hate your film.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
First time Mike says, man, I'd love to stay for the JLI casting, but I got 5 hours of meetings for my job tomorrow night, family, and see you guys for episode 250. First time, Mike. Good night, buddy. Enjoy those meetings. Don't get too bored.
Yeah.
Definitely need some sleep or you're going to fall asleep in those meetings. All right.
Meeting, come to order. Come to order.
So, I guess before we jump into some voicemail, you guys have a cast to unveil.
God, yeah, we got Smokey back here.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Dynamo, would you mind blasting off a few farts and getting rid of this?
Listen.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Show him. Dynamo, tell him.
Raven Shadow, I remember the days when you used to carry Axe body spray with you? Spray yourself after smoking?
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember the days
Just
when
to be
we'd
nice?
be at the manor, the smoke would be flowing, it'd be looking like L.A. in there, and we had fun.
Yeah, that was your house.
That's right.
You paid the rent. You lived there, so you can fucking smoke there, right? I can't complain about you smoking in your own house.
Remember
I
the
can
clubs?
complain about you smelling like complete shit in my studio.
It's not shit. It's tobacco.
It's worse.
No,
I'd rather smell Dynamo's ass.
That's mean.
We actually at the end had a rider that no one could smoke backstage at Deadite shows, and most of the time we played at the dude that owned the place who smoked.
Oh,
no, let's wear some big boy pants, okay?
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, but if I do, I got no place to put my cigarettes.
Yeah. What? Listen.
Those
it's
don't
no
have
secret-
pockets?
I'm a Scorpio.
I know. I know. I went against the logic of it, but please don't fight me on this.
We got moldy cake.
I made a moldy cake sled.
Oh.
What the fuck?
We were so poor we had to play with moldy cakes when I was a kid.
We had to play moldy cakes and soda cans.
Merry Christmas, Junior.
So 1986
Yes.
was a very dark time in funny
Yes.
books.
Good. I was hoping you'd do a
and,
setup.
One thing that was the outlier in that was, if you can believe, that's very similar to what happened with the Avengers a few years ago, actually, with Brian Michael Bendis taking it over. What should have been DC Comics' Golden Child had been totally overtaken by the Gen X version of it, the Teen Titans. In a similar way, the X-Men had steamrolled over the Avengers.
Right.
No one was paying attention, and they gave the book, which sometime I'd love to have these guys on because I've heard the story a few times recently and the way that they all felt about being involved in it. Keith Giffen. J.M. DeMatteis and Kevin Maguire, who's one of my favorite comic artists ever, fell together for a comic called Justice League International, which started as a kind of a superhero book with yucks and kind of morphed into a yucks book with superheroes in it. It was basically a workplace comedy. They would reel it in every time it got too far away. For every episode that was about trying to get a cat out of the building, there would be some cool battles and some other stuff. But
Can I interject one thing?
Yeah.
keep in mind this was a couple years after the company-wide, the very first Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Right.
Which updated DC's continuity, and a lot of the big seven were not on the table. You might have been going there, but Superman was tied up in his own new world building.
Right.
Wonder Woman was tied up in her kind of new origin by the great George Perez, which is finally being collected. And this came off the heels of Legends, which was the first crossover event since Crisis.
Right.
So kind of it took the new status quo and kind of set him up for the future. So, Hal Jordan was running amok with the Green Lantern Corps. So a lot of the familiar faces. Barry Allen was dead, and Ginger.
Whoa! Spoiler alert!
It's been fucking 30 years ago. He gets better if you watch the all new WB. Ginger Wally was went from Kid Flash to Flash, and he was busy in his own book. So I think to where maybe we are going when that team was handed the Justice League,
right?
It might not be what comes to mind when you first think of the Big Seven.
And I mean, it's thinking about it even more, and I'm sure that this is the well-known text. I can't think that Bendis didn't intentionally ape this because for every Wolverine and Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man that were in the team. There was, Luke Cage.
Right.
And some definitely which are popular now, but B-list characters at the time.
Spider-Woman.
Right.
Ronin.
Ooh.
Right. So the roster was kind of a mishmash of characters, of newly bought licensed characters like Captain Marvel and Blue Beetle, Batman, who was so fucking hot at the time because of, Denny O'Neil's, and was it Denny O'Neil was the editor then, or
Denny O'Neil? But then you're coming off year one,
right? Well, Denny O'Neil was the editor, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll relook that up at some point, but he had really had a Frank Miller, and you had the a lot of great writers, Max Allan Collins, and a lot of great stuff going on over at Mike Barr. Mm-hmm. Going on over at the the Batman books, and they were just super hot. But the trendsetter was something that happened kind of out of continuity, and that's Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, and Alan Moore's Watchmen, and then Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. Mm-hmm. All these things kind of catapulted Batman to a mini renaissance of what we would see a few years later with Batman '89, where at least from a comic book point of view, everybody was having a Batman phase at that time. Right. For people like me, it was like a real, a real going away of how every couple of years they'd wishy-washily, sometimes every couple of issues, put him back to kind of be, the Batman 66 to a degree. So it was really, it was characters like Blue Beetle, Batman, Dr. Fate, Martian Manhunter, Captain Marvel, Black Canary, who was really honestly she had been in the league before, but not a top-level character. Mr. Miracle, where the first time I ever saw or heard of him was in Justice League #1, because Jack Kirby's New God stuff had fallen out of favor. I think the year I was born, they stopped publishing the Mr. Miracle comic. A Green Lantern that wasn't Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner. And then, some Dr. Light, a female Dr. Light, who wasn't the very prominent, essentially the Teen Titans original Magneto.
Right.
And the book had comedy elements. It was very well written. Kevin Maguire drew characters who looked like they were wearing costumes, not that it was their skin. His facial expressions told stories, so there wasn't any wasted panels. And what I wanted to do in my casting of this kind of dream show was give everything that I like about the Marvel movies, but Michael Ravenshadow definitely hinted on that kind of Barney Miller, rescue me, working class hero sort of thing. So what I was doing, while kind of mentally plotting out not just the casting, I was kind of starting very more superhero-y, and then I was going to dial it back just like they did. But I was also going to give time to decompress that the series didn't have originally, because it was still like a lot of books of the time. It was still written in a very compressed style, you know. So, you know, I was going to, as opposed to like sacrificing the action or the comedy, I was going to give enough room to have both happen. And kind of looking through a continuity of essential reading for this era, one thing that kept popping up that made me think of where I would start my Justice League series, if me and Michael Ravenshadow were going to be the writer's room, wasn't at Legends, wasn't at Justice League International #1. It would be in the last, essentially, the last couple issues of Justice League of America, which was the death of the Detroit team.
Right.
So before I give a quick synopsis of my 2-hour premiere, let's talk about the League. First thing I'd like to talk about, Michael Ravenshadow, is somebody who we added that wasn't really in the book. Because as we kind of went through things, we realized that there was, you know, comics of 1987 were not much for racial diversity. And they also, you know, we're still in the kind of selling toys kind of mode. So a lot of the teams that you look at, like, you know, if you look at the lady per man ratio was not very good. And Justice League International originally was the worst. In the actual comic, one of the female characters was never even in her costume, and she just kind of stood around and complained that she wasn't even really supposed to be there.
Right.
So I added as we added as a carryover from the Detroit League, Vixen. And I thought Vixen, it would be cool. You know, she's going to be more of a leader in this, like more of kind of the den mother. And I thought Lisa Bonet. She could pull off the model, but she also has like I think a rare, like she has like kind of like, I still feel like she's fucking dangerous in real life, you know?
Oh yeah, and she's married to not your friend, Jason Momoa, and if even the Justice League of America, Detroit League, or as has been known to, was probably the most racially diverse group of the league at that time.
You know what's funny about it? You know why that was? Archie Goodwin sent down an edict to copy X-Men.
Is that what it was, really?
Yep.
And yeah, it was led by Aquaman and Martian Manhunter, and you had your Vibe, your Gypsy, your Vixen. If you watch Legends of Tomorrow, she has a prominent place on that.
What's crazy about X-Men that I just read a whole essay on? You know what's same thing here? So X-Men wasn't an international team because they were feeling bad about it, right? They thought that if they put a Canadian hero in, it would sell better in Canada. They were trying to sell better in different places, or at least sell as good. You know what I mean? As they were. You know what I mean? Like,
interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, because X-Men was a mid-level book in America that maybe they thought they could sell some Canadian, you know.
Which could be fair. That was after Neil Adams couldn't save the book.
Right.
So it was like throw it to the wall, see what sticks.
So here is my first. You know what? I'm going to do this first so we can forget about them because they don't go in the initial story. There's some heroes that end up in the first season, as I planned it out, that aren't in the first premiere, right? One thing that I think Legends of Tomorrow and all those DC shows are great at is introducing new characters all the time, as opposed to like a show like Supernatural where you essentially have all these same guys like all the way through, you know? One character that you're going to see down the line, but you won't see right away, is Booster Gold.
No.
Right? And I thought a good Booster Gold would, and we actually, Ravenshadow and I were actually on the same page as this. There was a lot of waffling of this. And Booster Gold, I thought a good Booster Gold would be Jared Padalecki.
Yes.
With his like kind of WB, like, you know, Booster is essentially presenting himself as an underwear model from the future, and you know, and trying to get famous. And I think that kind of like, you know, that type of character would come with a bit of stigmatism. That type of actor comes with a bit of stigmatism to add some shorthand to the, you know, kind of, they may think substanceless Booster.
Right.
Dr. Light does show up in this soon, and I thought Lucy Liu would be
interesting.
Good for her.
She was a mom. She was an older character.
Yep. Barter is voice only, and maybe the listeners can help me figure out who'd be a good big Barter. She has to be somebody with a distinct voice, and then when she shows up, she has to have some physical presence. And lastly, Power Girl, who is a replacement for Cosmic Boy, is that his name?
Yes,
In
Cosmic.
Legends, to add a little more lady, and that's Ronda Rousey. So now let's get to the league.
Okay.
In Michael Ravenshadow's first casting bit of brilliance that made me...
You don't hear those words.
Timestamp.
Oh, no, wait. I forgot one person. The person who doesn't pop up to the mid-season point. The person who was behind a lot of the group's machinations. Max Lord.
Lord, yeah.
Played by who I think plays cons and politicians better than anybody. And he would be making his return. He would be making his return to television.
Mhm.
And that's George Clooney.
Very interesting.
Yep. So I thought that this was probably a take on the character Guy Gardner that is perfect. Because the one thing that I don't think you could do with Guy Gardner in a reel now is make him. You'd have to make it be so some people kind of agreed with him. You had to make him be the voice of the malcontents. You couldn't just have him be a total fucking douchebag. In a way, though this politics is the opposite of that, he had to be the one Trump supporter in the room full of ultra liberals. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though most people think he's fucking crazy, it wouldn't work.
But he was that Clint Eastwood, Ronnie Reagan
Right.
guy back in '86.
Yeah, he could back it up generally, but somebody who was definitely a heel at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Was a bit of a coward and could show that, but somewhere in there might have been a heart. And Michael Ravenshadow came up with, as Guy Gardner, CM Punk.
Thank you, Dynamite. I think it would work.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm trying to think of it. I could see it. I mean, he is kind of a punk, right?
He's definitely a fan, but picture like him in the collar, in the jacket, in that opening scene. Saying,
he would not be into that outfit, though.
But I could even see him take a modification of that and have
sure.
all patches on it, and you know what I mean, all ragged, and he would have almost like his uniform would be a disgrace of the Lantern Corps uniform.
Yeah. But I could see him making ring things, and
Right.
even the gloves he wore.
Sure,
you know
sure.
What I mean, cover his tats maybe, but.
So I always say this guy's name wrong, so you're gonna have to help me out. I didn't want to go with the one midget in Hollywood right now, the one little person, a dwarf, which is the first person that both Ravenshadow and I came up with. And I also wanted to come up with somebody who was a comedic character who would definitely be comedic relief. And they didn't do as much with Oberon as you sort of remember that they did in the book. But I thought a good Oberon would be Charlie Hunnam. Is that how you say his? No, not Charlie Hunnam. What's his
Charlie
name from?
Hunnam.
It's always Charlie Day. Is that him?
Really?
Yeah.
Could you dwarf him down?
He doesn't
like
have
Lord
to
of
be
the Rings style?
He doesn't have to be dwarfed down.
I think
he's real. Do you know how little he is? He's tiny. He's
Really?
he's not that much bigger than he's much smaller than anyone here.
Really?
Yeah, he's a very. I mean, look at him next to Danny DeVito on that show.
Not
he's
fair.
a very, very small man. Especially next to a group of superheroes. Now, Mr. Miracle is somebody who I like. I wanted to come up with somebody who I've seen him in a couple of things now, and somebody who I could see translating to again, they didn't do too much with Mr. Miracle originally, and I feel like I had a lot of ideas that wouldn't be done. And you guys haven't seen this yet, but I always say this guy's name wrong too, but it's Daniel Kaluuya, who was in Get Out. He's both Everyman, and then if you've seen that film in particular, he's got another gear where he's got this great intensity, but he also does comedy good too. So he could be kind of, that's a character even at its base. He has to be charismatic, he has to be somebody's husband,
right.
And he has to be
somebody's husband,
and he has to have a degree of rage and hurt because he's someone who came from the basically the worst ghettos in the planet. Almost like a socialized concentration camp. You know, and so it had to be somebody who had an intensity to him. And in Get Out, I saw this character had this great intensity and this great. And we talked about wanting to have racial diversity on the team, and I felt like he was a character who fit well into this first story of kind of what I had an idea of kind of changing Legends into sort of an allegory of some of the stuff that's going on today. You know, when you take metahumans and make it more of like a, you know, a political diversion in the same way that you would make immigrants or you would make homosexuals. You know, you would play on people's fear, you know, and that just doesn't work as well as if you're. It's like Warren Ellis's argument when the X-Men were fighting a villain who was an actual mutant with a mutation. He's like, you want people to feel bad for you when you look like a group of models flying around with your beautiful wings and your icy rainbows under you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this was another great. Oh no, this one's Me Too. Sorry, this next one's Raven Shadow. Black Canary, I just went with who I thought was the most beautiful brunette in Hollywood, who also looked good with different color hair and some other things that we saw. Somebody who you could throw on the wig, and her features are so fair that you would believe that maybe she was actual like a real blonde with her, you know, blue eyes and really sharp features. But we've seen her be play all sorts of characters, from a tough military expert to like a coy, you know, goth girl to like a cult victim, and that is my number one Hollywood favorite lady, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You know, I think she's supernaturally beautiful, and if you look at her in Death Proof as the cheerleader, like I think you could kind of imagine what she might look like in that wig. This was the only Michael Ravenshadow thing that I was resistant of, not because like I thought he looked perfect, but I just like, I think there's an undercurrent in this story that like the one comedic thing they didn't play off so much because the superheroes were so kind of aloof in themselves. Like, if you had the most powerful human in the universe looking unhinged, like, you would be uncomfortable. Basically, if Superman was acting like a fucking nut, you would be uncomfortable. Right. And I think to kind of put that all over, you'd have to have somebody with a bunch of physical presence. And I think this guy actually has it. He has the look. He has the voice. He has the comedic chops to play a 11-year-old boy in a grown man's body. And that is John Warburton. Is that how you say his name?
Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton, sorry. As Captain Marvel.
Especially how Maguire drew him.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree,
that kind of.
Yeah. No, I think he's perfect.
Wasn't Patrick Warburton the Tick?
The Tick.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But he's also 6'3" in real life, which I didn't know. Yeah. So like he's bigger than almost every contemporary action hero.
Right.
Speaking of contemporary action heroes, I went a few years back because I much like the Lisa Bonet choice. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have the characters that were carried over from the League of Detroit to be a little older, to be like kind of like the Den fathers and the real Den father and Den mother. And the character who did that in this series was Martian Manhunter, right? Yeah. Martian Manhunter is traditionally, because of his voice that way in the cartoons, played by an African American gentleman.
Right.
But
even on Smallville,
right,
they had an African American.
Yeah,
but John Johns.
But I don't know. I don't even know what nationality this gent is. But he's a little older. He rocks a bald head, and he's got an incredible voice. And I think Vin Diesel as Martian Manhunter. And speaking of voice, a character who essentially could be anyone in this room and be a voice is Dr. Fate. Yeah. Dr. Fate is essentially a guy in a helmet and a disembodied voice, right? If you need a voice, you go get the best voice, right? So as the voice of Dr. Fate, most importantly, Morgan Freeman.
Pretty good.
Right. This one was a slam dunk for me because I tried to come up with some actors originally and not go with my thing, but Raven Shadow was right. In this book, Batman is only Batman. There's no Bruce Wayne. Batman has no interaction as Batman. Batman shows up, he says 2 or 3 words of orders, he looks at people uncomfortably, and he kicks high, right? Somebody who kicks high, has a square jaw, and can look good in a suit if Bruce Wayne has to show up somewhere. That's Scotty Adkins as Batman.
You had mentioned him last week.
Right? Now, I think that if you've been paying attention, the identity of the last member of the roster is very obvious because we were like, you know, there has to be a camaraderie here that didn't work. My initial choices were two people who were double dipping, which is something we didn't want to do. But in my opinion, Deadpool and Star-Lord wouldn't exist if not for Beetle and Booster to a degree. You know what I mean? Like those type of characters. Like you just wouldn't have had, you know, you saw the 1987 version of Deadpool and he wasn't funny.
Right.
You know? So.
Can I give my two choices originally too?
Yeah. But I actually wanted to ask you why you picked them because you obviously hadn't seen any movies with them in it.
With those two?
Yeah.
It was the way they would interact, like on some of the shorts they do. I could see them. My original choice was Edge and Christian as Beetle and Booster, respectively. Which I think if they could look good just wearing costumes because they're big guys. And I could see them, you know, the way they might, you know, play with Vince, doing that with Max.
Yeah.
And, you know, they would, you know, sell the league funds to Cooey.
Sure. But I think that was all they could do. That was kind of my thinking while we were talking about it. You know what I mean? They would be one direction like characters.
It could be also going to the point, too, where who would have fucking thought that Batista being the dullest motherfucker on the planet as a main event, you know, character... I mean, as a main event wrestler.
Yeah.
But put him in gray, reddish makeup, and he's fucking great.
Right. Well, we already know that, though Edge had, like, 125 episodes of a television show that he wasn't very good in.
What's that?
I don't know. It's the
Haven.
Yeah. And
was he in
Christian was in a couple of low-budget horror movies where it was...
But never given the chops to be creative.
He was also... Edge was... Adam Smasher on Flash.
He was, yeah. But like I think given the right, like anybody can be a great actor or with the right script, because Dynamo would write it.
I disagree with that actually.
That he's a good writer?
No. That anyone can be a good actor with a good script. I disagree.
Well, you are sucking so good with those noodles.
Someone's got to be, you know.
Yeah. But no, okay. But I mean, if you can fucking act, they hadn't had a chance to really act, and they had their friendship. But then I had originally thought what Dynamo was going to drop, and there's even more of a.
It's going to drop a deuce.
Yeah. So I had said, you know, like why break a team that's not broken, and just have Beetle be Jensen Ackles, also from Supernatural, where when Raven Shadow and I were kind of talking about the pros and cons, you'd get like. Us who read the comic would be excited for Booster and Beetle to be on the thing, but fans of those two would be excited for them to. There'd be like a real synergy there.
And there's been a precedent for that. I didn't watch this show, but there was a show called Prison Break, and I think the two main guys. I don't know what their relationship were, but they play Captain Cold and Heatwave on Legends, and they're by far the best part of that show.
Yeah, and I think again. You know, this is almost cheating because I think that Supernatural owes a lot to the Bwahaha era of you know, because by the mid seasons of that, it would be like we better have a monster come because these guys have just been fucking doing karaoke and fighting for 35 minutes. So, quick elevator pitch of my episode: Glorious Godfrey, who would be played by Chris Rock, would be ratcheting up the anti-metahuman sentiment. While I'd be flipping it on its head, the super popular ultra rock star Detroit League would be having a membership thing. Drive. 3 of the members would have an altercation with Guy Gardner, getting them kicked out before they even are able to apply. Due to machinations from Glorious Godfrey, Despero attacks and kills most of the Detroit League while there is a huge rally outside, which makes the superhero, which adds to Godfrey's metahuman hate thing. Meanwhile, the remainder of the league, of those guys, or the league to be, will be drinking around the corner somewhere when Dr. Fate shows up to get the Justice League, not knowing that, you know, the real Justice League is mostly dead, and these are the guys that didn't make the cut. They all show up and defeat Despero, but the remaining league members who survive from Detroit and the new ones end up on the run for the first 4 episodes while basically the story that's Legends happens. And then around mid-season, you'd start to get the Justice League International that you knew. It'd almost be the flip of The Walking Dead first season, where it started one way. It started like the comic you knew and ended differently.
Okay.
This would start differently and end. But I think with starting them in a world that is unsure of them and giving you the opportunity to see that they weren't even the third string in the same way that they were, would be able to, set the precedent for them being what we knew they were when you grabbed this book. And we're like, who the fucking Justice League? This isn't even Aquaman.
Right.
And of course, Batman would be kind of, around the whole time initially without you knowing. Fans would know it was Batman, but some people might not know that the homeless man that helps them, or you know what I mean, the quiet, policeman at the rally. And so basically, the 2-hour premiere would, climax with a battle with Despero, which would set the seeds for what would be, probably like a series finale when Despero comes back and causes a great deal of havoc. And, another thing I did with Despero is when you see him at the beginning of it, he's kind of weak and sheepish, and they almost like, without knowing the backstory, they're just trying to enslave the city. Like, you almost feel like he's bullied a little bit. It looks like these super jocks picking on E.T. So when Godfrey awakes him and his 3 eyes awake,
oh, yeah,
just like this,
Can hear you.
This, the embassy or the Justice League base explodes from the inside. Like, it's a surprise to see this huge monster. So. Sometime if anybody ever wants to hear it, I actually have actual real life blow for blow.
I think MZ wants to hear it.
2 hour for now. Well, sorry, we're not talking about rape.
Next week.
So what format? I mean, obviously this is what channel would you put this on, or service?
I think that this would probably be like, so.
If it was up to you, that is.
Well, so I'm thinking that Hulu or Amazon or somebody eventually is going to try to get a hold of a license, right? To try to
combat Netflix.
Combat Marvel and Disney's Netflix hold. You know what I mean? So I would say like something like that, that's streamable, because where the Marvel stuff works so well is that they're able to create a lot of shorthand, so they don't have to every week after week after week drill into your head that Matt Murdock is a blind lawyer. You know what I mean?
He's blind?
Right. So.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting stuff there. Raven Shadow, would you watch this show?
Yeah.
Monster Zero, would you watch this show?
Just in case you don't believe me.
Sure, why not?
I think that's
you would not watch the fucking show.
I don't want that. Hey, out of support of my friends, of course I would.
I think that could be some kind of radio drama at some point.
Dead fucking air.
Yep.
There's too much here to read, Don. There's
Well,
a
no,
lot.
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just
I
saying.
wrote it in case you didn't believe me.
No, you went deep. You did a deep dive.
Yeah.
Ooh, went in deep.
There's 200,000 words on that page. So for fans of Justice League International, I think they're going to be very happy with that. If someone is curious, they don't know anything about JLI, could you guys direct them to where,
sure.
where to
Pick
look
up
for
that
the comic?
fucking omnibus that I just ordered after Raven Shadow, and I figured before Raven Shadow,
Well,
I
if-
figured out it was
if-
all the fucking books I already
If
had.
people don't have $80 or whatever it costs, there's also volume. You can get them in trade paperback, right?
There lies the rub, Johnny. Most of those are out of print now, in both the hardcover and the softcover form.
But try to find it. The original trade was called. A New
Amazon
Hope.
said it was there. Let me check though. I just added it to when we post the episode. It looked like it was available. It doesn't say how much. That's why. Okay, so maybe.
Yeah, it's. I was very disappointed. So they were putting them out in hardcover initially, and then in hardcover it came too costly to do it in hardcover because they wanted to put the Justice League International and the Justice League Europe in trades together as opposed to putting them out separately.
Paperback. You can get it on Comixology.
Yep.
Kindle, Comixology.
You can get them all.
Yep.
And
paperback says from $12.50, so they must be used versions because they're not like new buying options. So
I read them on I mean, I have the hardcover editions, but if I get a better tablet than the one I have ever, and considering somebody gave me the phone company gave me this one for free, and after having it for a week, I wish they gave me change. And I've heard that these books look phenomenal digitally. They did a really good job cleaning them up and stuff like that.
yeah, I'm kind of curious. I might actually pick these up. It's been a while since I've read them.
Yeah, and it is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. And I don't think, in rereading them recently, same as Suicide Squad, I don't think it's contextual like I kind of thought it was. They really do hold up. And even the books that are, they got hit with a lot of crossovers at about the fucking point where all new series get ham-hawked by company crossovers. They had them all. So they were involved in Evasion and Millennium. And without knowing any fucking thing else that's going on in any of those books, they're still entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't read any of those fucking crossovers other than what I was reading. So, and the Suicide Squad one was like unfucking, unreadable. But, the Justice League one was entertaining within itself. So with just the elevated pitch, these characters named Manhunters that come in and replaced some of they were basically like sleeper spies. And that's all you need to know. It's great. They did a great story, The politics is a little outdated, but as I was trying to kind of think of a way to update this, somebody was smart and had a lot of the political strife come from the Middle East, and that still works.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's face it. There was some remnants of the Cold War, which spoiler alert.
Sure.
And then the Middle Eastern country of Quark. Was the nemesis, which a lot's changed from the 80s. But no, it's great stuff. And the thing, of all the jokes, it's called the Bwahaha League, but there's times it can get downright serious.
I think if you were, this is not going to sell Jake on this book, but I think if you're a fan of the Marvel movies, especially Avengers, you will probably like this book.
So if people out there are into the digital copies, you can get Justice League International Volume 1 for $12.99 digitally. So it's not bad. You're looking at 191 pages. So digital's your thing. There you go. It's got Volume 2 and 3 as well. So
yeah. Nice. And one thing I'll say, if you feel like a lot of characters are introduced cold, they actually are kind of introduced cold. Like there's never any explanation of what Mr. Miracle was doing there, or when he got recruited, or anything else. Right. He just showed up, So.
All right, cool. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. Use our Amazon link. But for now, I think we should head to some voicemail. And I think he is going to talk about the flick. So why don't we cut to our boy Arkham Josh and see what he has to say.
Hold on.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys. It's Arkham Josh here. Just calling in with some thoughts on this week's film, The Dark Tapes. I actually did a written review of this for Forces of Geek a week or two ago, so I got to see it back then. And I don't know, say it's pretty interesting and much better than I expected going into it, given that, nowadays when you hear found footage or first-person POV, you kind of start to think the worst. But at least this one, it does some interesting things with it. And at the very least, it tells you an interesting story. A couple interesting stories. And a couple mediocre stories. But, there are definitely some flaws. Right off the bat, literally first few minutes, there's like a camera edit of two different camera sources, and so you gotta wonder, well, who's putting this together? Who's doing this? But luckily, after that, they seem to be able to stick with the first-person thing that's needed to make this work. I thought the special effects were really good. And like I said, I thought the stories were interesting. Overall, I would say this is a treat, and I would recommend it. I'm not too familiar with the filmmakers. I don't think they've done much else, but I would definitely be interested in seeing whatever they come up with going forth, because like I said, they definitely had some good ideas. They made a couple of mistakes, but as it went on, it seemed to get better. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Another thing I wanted to mention, you might hear some odd tones in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I just got in the mail from Mondo is my Girl with All the Gifts 2 LP soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And
that sounds familiar.
Been listening to this. I'd highly recommend anybody picking it up if you enjoyed hearing it in the film. The album is a great experience, because it was. I think of a lot of the stuff we've watched lately, this is one of the scores that stuck with me the most. So I was psyched to be able to get it. Alright, you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Awesome, Josh. Thanks, man.
Cool.
I thought that the music sounded familiar. I was like, what is that? And sure enough, Girl with All the Gifts. I remember really digging that.
I miss Josh.
Yeah, we got to get him in studio too soon.
Yeah.
So very awesome, and he seemed to dig the flick for the most part as well. And if you guys want to track down his review, he did a review for Forces of Geek. I'm sure you can just do Forces of Geek, The Dark Tapes, and find a review from Josh. Nice work, Josh. Corny says good night. Hope you all have a good weekend. Good night, Corny.
I'm not doing it, Corny.
Thanks for hanging out,
I'm
buddy.
not having a good weekend.
Jeez, all right. All right, next.
I have to work all day at the shops Saturday while everybody else gets to go shop.
You're working at a comic shop?
Oh, no, that's you. Sorry.
Hey.
I messed up.
It's my script.
All right, so let's hear from First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike.
Hey,
How's
buddy.
everybody doing?
Doing well, man.
This is going to be a short one tonight. With May 4th, tomorrow as I record this, it's May the 4th, of course, a celebration of all things Star Wars. But I'm not going to ask a Star Wars question directly tonight. My question for you is, what is your favorite Star Wars rip-off movie? Star Wars was such a phenomenon that it basically permeated all sorts of things, from action figures to cartoons to regular TV series. There was so much. A lot of what we take for granted today was inspired in some way by the success of Star Wars in 1977. For me, my favorite Star Wars ripoff, it's a tie pretty much between Battle Beyond the Stars, the Roger Corman film, which is just amazing, and Star Crash by Luigi Cozzi, just for the sheer audacity of the whole thing, and because Carolyn Monroe is gorgeous, and everybody in there is awesome. It has one of my favorite movies of all time, but I can't reveal that because it would ruin the movie for if somebody hasn't saw it. Needless to say, it involves a ray that the Emperor of the planet shoots at the end of the movie, and that's all I'm going to say. It was one of the few lines that ever make me stop and go, oh my god, that is so amazingly ridiculous. I just have to sit in wonder of it. So those are my favorite Star Wars ripoffs. What are your guys' favorite Star Wars ripoffs? That's it. Y'all have a good night. This is First Time Mike saying goodbye, and may the Force be with you. Bye.
Thank you, First Time Mike. And yes, happy May the 4th, everyone, right?
Yes.
Because you're not listening to this on May the 4th because it won't come out then. But for those listening live, it just turned midnight. So it is May 4th. So for me, and Bosch just said it in the chat room.
Can't wait to go home and get some metachlorians all over my sheets.
Yeah. Your midichlorian count's going to be high
Gonna
tonight.
make a fucking clone army, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, man. Bosch just said mine. I was going to go with Turkish Star
Oh,
Wars.
come on, Bosch. That's fucking mine, dude.
Well,
Turkish Star Wars is fantastic. I was going to say Star Crashers, but then I thought,
yeah,
you know what?
FTM just said mine too, Star Crashers. But I actually have another one.
How about Hardware Wars?
Those Star Crashers was on the new season of MST, and it's one I always wanted to do with Mr. Smartass. But I don't think I think that I don't know. I still might take if I ever put a riffing group back together. I still might take a swing at Star Crash because I feel like they left a lot on the table. But one that was its own sci-fi entity. But if you can't see the comparisons to the influences of Star Wars on it, you're crazy, and that's Flash Gordon.
Fucking A. I was thinking too. Yeah.
Stole yours?
Yeah, my second one.
Well, I think there's enough rip-offs to name a few.
Yeah. No, it's with me. It's either Star Crashers or Turkish Star Wars. Those two are just fantastic.
Oh shit! Bosch said I'm biased because I'm Turkish.
Oh.
I actually want to know what the fuck is with Turkey and their lack of copyright love.
I don't know, but I love it.
Oh, and he says hashtag love Baskin. Fuck
there
yeah.
you go.
Nice, there you
That
go.
was one of our favorite flicks from last year.
Yep, that was my number one flick from last year.
It was my number 2.
Mine would be Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress.
Shut up.
Good one. Good one.
Thank you.
Good one.
Totally copied that.
So smart.
Thank you.
I guess technically you could say that because George was influenced by that, right?
Oh, yeah. So he stole it.
Yeah.
And I think Cyclops agrees.
Cyclops Mars.
Yes.
All right, we have
Geordie
No, I'm
Lamage.
Geordie. He's from
Oh, yeah,
Star Wars,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, Geordie Lamage.
Yeah, from Star Wars.
We have
Nikki LaForge. What's that? That's a weird mashup.
I am Geordie from Star Wars. I ride in the TARDIS.
No?
No?
Yes.
No.
I know my science fiction.
Oh, yeah. He may have mastered the universe. a little bit.
Hobbits.
Yeah.
Hobbits. It's science fiction.
Okay.
Can't see.
I wonder why. All right, so let's hear from Nicholas.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio 3. Don Coscarelli.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
That was
Don.
Nick.
Creator of such great films as Baba Hotep and Phantasm.
Hey, Don.
Hey. I just wanted to call in because I haven't called in a while.
How you doing,
And
man?
I wanted to say maybe you should check out, and I know this is sacrilegious to promote a podcast on a podcast, but I thought it was a good idea. I was on Mick Garris's podcast, Postmortem with Mick Garris.
Yeah, I love
and,
that show.
You know, I got on there and I talked about Phantasm and the Phantasm box set that came out.
Yeah.
Which you should pick up.
And Beastmaster.
It's really cool. There's many ones out there, but the most recent one is by Wellgo USA, and it's really cool. So yeah, so check out the Phantasm box set.
I will.
And check out Mick Garris with me guesting on. I talk about such great things as Phantasm, and stuff like that. So have a good one, guys. Bye.
I cuddle my Phantasm box set that I got for my birthday. Christmas awesome. Thank you. Cuddle
So
it.
I don't know why I thought that was Nicholas, but thanks, Don Coscarelli. And yeah, sure. Everyone check out Postmortem and his appearance on there. So we have not heard from Don Coscarelli in a while. So
Nope.
thanks.
Sounds a bit like Ty West.
Yeah, I'm Ty West. Yeah, a little bit. All right, let's hear from Riku.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, it's Riku. So, I watched some horror movies this week, and I thought I would give you my impressions.
Thank you.
So,
I'm
I
Jason
watched,
Voorhees. It's my impression of
100 Feet. And boy, was that good premise, kind of meh ending, but there was a creamy middle of a guy getting beaten up by a ghost, but you can't see the ghost or the punches, but you see the impact of the punches on the guy's body. It's really a cool scene. Like, that's by far the takeaway. Then I watched The Caller. Entertaining, scary, good, like, pseudo time travel movie. I would watch that one again, not 100 Feet. God, that was... I recommend The Caller. Like, give it a watch. It's not like a perfect time travel thing. There's some things you could nitpick, but it's good enough to withstand at least some of those. And then I watched Deathbed. Save that one for last because I don't have anything to say about it. It's Deathbed. It's not very good. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a good show. Bye.
All right, Riku. Thanks, man.
I love reviews.
Riku's checking out some flicks there. I have never seen any of them, so. Have you guys seen any of those flicks? All right. Well, hey, thanks for the reviews, Riku. Maybe we'll check those out.
That is on Shudder, I believe, right now.
I think so.
Okay. All right. For the final voicemail, let me just double check. It is the final one. We have another one from, or I should say a first one from Nicholas.
Hey guys, it's me. Don, shut up. Go away, Don.
Oh,
It's
they're
not your
all from
time.
the same phone. That's why.
Hey guys, it's Nick. So I wanted to talk about a film I recently checked out. It's called The Alchemist Cookbook. This was a pretty cool film. I highly recommend this to Johnny.
Oh.
Not that I wouldn't recommend it to Dynamo. Just, I don't know. It seems like it'd be up Johnny's alley. It's pretty interesting. I thought this was very good. I caught wind of this through Kevin on Radio Violent. He was talking about this. Really interesting little flick, a little indie flick. I still don't know completely what it's about, but it's very interesting. So what it is it's this guy. He's probably like in his late 20s. This black guy. He's like the movie starts. He's like in a not Winnebago, but like a camper, like out in the woods. And he's like mixing all kinds of stuff. Like it looks like he's making a chemistry set or something. And he's got this book that's like looks old, you know, and looks like spells or something. And you don't really know what he's doing, but he keeps, you know, working on this. His one buddy comes and will bring him supplies and stuff like that. He's got a bum leg, almost like Forrest Gump kind of brace on one leg. But yeah, he's up to something. He keeps testing different things, and you see him going through the trials and tribulations. Like puff of smoke will go out, and you know, he's trying to do something, but he doesn't explain really why. The only thing he explains is he wants to be rich. So like, I guess he's trying to make some kind of like potion or something, and it'll like make him all powerful or something. It's pretty subtle. Like there's not a lot going on. There's a great scene by a campfire that's really creepy once he starts like hallucinating, because he's taking this stuff too. He's like drinking weird things, he's making potions. I think what the film's about is like he's messing around with stuff to try to make money, but he accidentally discovers like witchcraft because he's reading this weird book. I don't know how to explain it. Like the trailer really doesn't give it justice either, but I highly enjoyed it. I give it like a B+. I thought it was very interesting. It's called The Alchemist Cookbook. I mean, anyone can check it out, but I think Johnny might be up your alley. I still don't know what's going on in the movie, but it's pretty damn interesting, and it's got some creepy. That campfire scene's pretty creepy, and how decent makeup for how low budget it is. The ending is, you know, weird, but like it's kind of like a head scratcher. But I don't know. I think it's something that should be checked out. So thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, Nicholas. Thanks, buddy.
Cool.
I am not familiar with it. I did actually see Kevin Hornsby talking about it. So
I have heard of it.
Yeah, there's a movie that came out in the late '90s. I'm drawing a blank on the name. It was something Cookbook. It's an actual book.
The Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but this isn't the one that I found on IMDb. Is not it.
Yeah, they did make a movie of that. That was a.
It was an art house, maybe even a foreign film.
But it was a real book though too. Like you used to get that.
Oh yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. Anarchist Cookbook, is that? Unless this is it, and they just use a different.
What'd you say, Alchemist?
What, the one that Nick said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bosch says Alchemist was a trick, in my opinion. I had to force myself to get through it. There was that one creepy part. But yeah, I'm curious. Maybe we'll check it out there, Nick. And in the chat room, there's just like a little flurry here. Bosch says, was talking about Turkish films and says they just don't give a fuck, but it's gotten a lot better now. Cecil said The Hidden Raven Shadow, because you mentioned Hidden Fortress.
Nice, yes.
And Cecil says, I used to fuck box sets like Phantasm and Prism.
Wow. Keep those copies I send you.
Oh, Bob said that was a digital file you downloaded that showed you how to make bombs and stuff in the early internet days. Yeah. Man, what the fuck was the name of it? It was, it's going to drive me nuts now, because this isn't the movie, I don't think, because it came out in like 97, 98, because I remember getting it from the video store when I worked there. So, The Alchemist Cookbook. I don't know. I'll look it up. So, I believe that may be it for voicemail. And let's see if we have any tweets. We do have one tweet, and it's actually from Riku from an hour ago. And Riku says, tagged us, and sent this link. New Japan Pro Wrestling X Tekken t-shirts now available at Pro Wrestling Tees. Dynamo, what do you think? What's going on in your head?
I don't have any money. I will not look at them.
They're pretty cool.
Not looking.
Oh, there's the Okada King one. Oh, shit. Rainmaker versus Tekken King. That's fucking awesome. Bullet Club, Tekken.
It is the Anarchist Cookbook.
So, is it? Okay. Maybe there's a...
There's 3 fucking cookbook movies. And one of them is Alchemist Cookbook. And one of them is Julie and Julia.
Julia Gulia?
Right.
Yeah, this is going to bother me now with the Alchemist Cookbook thing. Okay, so yeah, that's it for tweets. That's it for voicemail. We don't have any email. So next week, I know we probably should have thought of this ahead of time, but do you guys have, is there maybe a theme, or should we ask the folks to send us voicemails addressing something because it's a milestone? Does anyone have any ideas?
Send us tasteful nudes.
I was just
That's
thinking
not
the
a
same
voicemail.
thing.
Huh?
That's not a voicemail.
Well, no, it could be like, my feet are naked.
Yeah,
No, I don't want to see
like,
feet.
yeah, like,
My ankle's naked.
describe how they would send artful nudes.
Kecks, I'm depending on you.
My cankles. What do you want to see, MZ? What kind of voicemail you want?
Oh, I don't care.
Good. No way.
I leave it up.
great.
No. I leave it up to our friends out there that listen to us.
I'm glad you said friends this time.
Well, it only took 250 episodes.
So next week, episode 250, Jarrett Blinkhorn will be in studio. We're going to review a Blinkbuster video flick called Things. And then Jarrett has another visual treat for you. So you need to tune into the live show to see it.
Going to get to see his naked ankles.
Maybe. You never know.
It's a start.
And then we're going to talk to Jeremy Gillespie and Steven Kostansky from Astron 6, the directors of The Void. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, hold on. Quiet.
Okay.
I got an impersonation for you. Ready?
Yep.
You know what that is?
That's your hand hitting the table.
No, that's Cornelius's tasteful nude voicemail.
Oh, I get it.
Oh,
He's
on the
big in
table?
pants.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that?
Right.
Well, what's up with biginthepants.com?
Do other shows talk about their listeners' dinks, or is it just us?
It's just us.
The Cult of Muscle has to, right?
Cult of Muscle sometimes talks about me shitting.
Wrap it up, Johnny.
No, why?
It's time to go.
Why?
Because
I never realized how much John Malkovich. Are you taking a dump?
I made a reference to that in my voicemail this week.
Were you taking a dump when you left it?
No, I did. I like let a little burp slip out.
It sound like this? That may be the greatest scene
I love the goblin.
in any movie we've reviewed. reviewed.
So Tiny is on a cruise, so he won't be here next week. But
He's on the cruise still next week?
yeah, he
How
hasn't
long is
left
his
yet.
fucking cruise? Oh, I thought he was gone already.
No. I think he just figured out he needed a passport like today.
Oh. He probably knew that we were doing the 250. He's like, let me get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be on that shit.
All he does is fucking yell at me for things.
Oh, that's about right.
You shouldn't use your money for that. The hospital doesn't take fucking Amazon cards, Tiny. Get off my back.
Don't take
It's
PayPal.
like, oh,
Are you insane?
I noticed on a picture you were drinking diet soda. You know that I was fucking doing fucking Coke off the strangest fucking backs like 5 years ago. Let me have this fucking soda. You fucking big asshole. I hope his ship sinks.
Wow. Jesus.
Wow, what a lovely sentiment.
Wow. Is that you let him borrow your boat?
But we'll come rescue my sister if things go pear-shaped.
All right, so I guess what we'll do is if we have a specific topic, we'll announce it
I got your cake.
on the Fib. But if you guys, we'd love to hear from you on episode 250.
Favorite moment? What about favorite moment? Did we do that before?
I think we have, but whatever. We have some new listeners that may not have been around for episode 200. So you guys can send us whatever you want. If we have a specific theme, we'll let you know during the week. But we'd love to hear from some of you guys, especially some of the folks we have not heard from. People in, I don't know, Istanbul.
Yeah.
We have someone in Istanbul listening.
How about first time, long time?
For some long time?
Yeah.
So how about this? A challenge to those folks listening that have never left a voicemail. If you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, 1 episode, 100 episodes, 250 episodes, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Even if you just say, hey, I've been listening. I dig you guys. I hate you guys. Whatever, Like, I'd love to hear from some new folks. So if you guys have never left us a voicemail, we get a lot of voicemails on the show because we're very lucky because our listeners and friends are fucking amazing. So think about sending one if you never have before. And we'll definitely find room for it. We have an action-packed show, but we'll probably run a little bit longer than we have been. We've been trying to keep it closer to 3 hours, but next week all bets are off, I guess, because it's a milestone. So
I'm getting divorced, so I don't know anywhere to be.
Bosch says hashtag Istanbul Nights.
I want to go to the show, too. Drive Jacket Mott's going to be pissed.
Well, yeah.
Maybe he can come to Australia.
Hashtag Coke off strangers' backs.
Yes.
It's Raven Shadow is into that.
It was lady. Well, maybe.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. We got to save our energy for episode 250. So, MZ, why don't you say goodbye?
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
We could definitely, with the way this mold is, trick somebody into thinking that it's part of the conceit of this confectionery treat.
It's a mint julep.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll leave it for next week for the episode 250.
Sure.
Maybe Blinks once.
Blinks, there you go.
No, I don't want Blinks to get sick. Cecil says, expect feedback. Yes, Cecil.
Nice.
I'd fucking love to hear from you, buddy.
I got to watch that porn before next week that
Which
Blinks
one?
got me for my birthday.
Oh, boy. You're going to review that. Let us know how many... What the FAP rate of that one is.
I don't know. It sounds like it's more like a gag rate.
All right, Marsman, why don't you take us out?
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 249, everyone. We really appreciate it. And thanks to Michael McCune, the director of The Dark Tapes, for coming and hanging out in our chat room for a little bit, give us some stories. Thank you to everyone who hung out for the live show. We really appreciate it, guys. And everyone who listens to the podcast
All
on
7
continents.
7
comma 000. We appreciate it, and we hope to see a lot of you for episode 250 live, because we do have a treat for you. Something you can only
see live, right?
Live.
It's true.
We're gonna go ahead. It's not gonna be on the podcast. You have to see it live. So if you guys want to check out that treat, we'll try to do it fairly early in the show so you don't have to hang out for hours. Although I would recommend hanging out for the whole thing, because we're gonna have Steve Kostansky, Jeremy Gillespie. It's gonna be a fucking blast. So thanks, everyone. Thank you for everyone who contributed. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the best, and we will see you for episode 250 next week.